Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Fake Nerd Podcast. I'm Brandon C. McClure. With me, as always, are my best friends in the whole world, Ben Magnet.
Ships on vigor of the waves are skimming barren summons to the verdant plains. Each horizon is a new beginning. Rise and reign.
Okay, so you definitely read those lyrics on your phone. Yeah, okay. I know. I saw you. Your eyes went like whoop. Sparks witty.
I feel like I'm missing some context here.
That's Sabaton.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
is it
Ryan.
Is it in the credits or
no?
Oh, Ben's just being Ben. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And Ryan Eliopoulos or his toy.
That's John McClane, sir.
I'm so
it's
sorry.
Also called an action figure, but it's made out of fluff. Hi, everybody. It's podcast time.
It
is. The casting of pod time. We're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the Northman. We've been off. We were off for a week. We had a good break. These two moved in that time.
We were in one house, and now we're not in one house.
And Ryan's not in the same house, but you'll never know.
And you guys are still sitting in the same spots on the screen.
Yeah.
Are we? No, we're not.
No.
Yeah.
No, we're not. I've always been on that side.
Ben, help me out here. This is right. Because
bro, I know where I lived in my room. I was always.
No, Sparks was always towards the wall, and Ryan was always towards the window.
Nope, opposite. Ryan's on the other side.
No, Ryan, you're thinking about this because you know I'm right.
No, now I'm confused. No, I was always on the left. We can't do this right now.
It's the mirrored screen, I guess. It's confusing everybody.
Yeah, who knows?
All right.
The mirrored
whatever. We're here to talk about the Northman. Real quickly, up top, though, we're going to switch things around a bit this week because Sparks, unfortunately, could not get the time to go see the Northman. So we are going to do our main topic last. So we're going to do news, then book club, and then main topic. And that's when Sparks will gracefully bow out.
Fly.
Yeah, gracefully. Look forward to that.
He's going to hit a button.
We'll miss you. We'll miss you, no less.
He's going to be like, Ben, you're seeing sucks. Boom.
I'm going to hit an alarm. It's going to go like this.
Jesus. The audio listeners won't be the wiser.
Yeah.
Okay, but all that said, we got plenty of stuff to get through. So let's start with some links in the description, guys. Guys, before we get into the show, please turn your attention to the description because there are links.
Oh shit, there are.
Such as Ben is legitimately looking at the description.
I'm just
No, I appreciate it. I love it. I'm into it. Of course, my Screen Rant work was always linked down there. I only want to highlight two things, one of which I will highlight here, one of which I will actually highlight in my week. So I've done a bunch of stuff on Screen Rant, and one of the ones that two of the ones I'm particularly proud of went up this past 2 weeks. For example, I did a Moon Knight list, a Moon Knight adjacent list where I talk about 10 Marvel characters who are Jewish in the comics. And I used that to kind of talk about how the MCU has erased their Jewishness, specifically Wanda. That's kind of the big one. I did a lot of research for that one, and the reason why I did that is because a little bit of a preamble is I've been thinking about my own relationship with my own faith, for lack of a better word. Not very religious, and kind of wondering why that is. So I've kind of reconnected with as religious as I was as a kid. I don't know if you guys see that I light a menorah on Hanukkah now. I didn't do that for many years. And I wanted to kind of think about what kind of Jewish influences I had as a kid, because media really influenced me as a child, and there wasn't really a lot of positive Jewish characters in film and television, and just kind of like looking back on that and seeing how that, among other things that I won't go into, but seeing how that influenced how I engaged with my faith. And that's kind of what I did with that article. It's not as deep as that, but that's why I did it, and I wanted that context to be there because I think that for me is important.
Nice.
Sure.
I actually had a really lovely conversation with my mother because of it, because she was also at a point in her life where she's looking back on and being like, maybe I'm the reason why my children aren't like Jewish. Like really, like I mean, I'm not, like I said, we let him menorah when we were kids, but my mom was always like, you got to suppress it, because if someone ever comes to you and says, "Are you Jewish?" you say no, because it was that generational trauma of like the Holocaust. My grandmother lived through that. Not lived through it. She was in America when it happened, but like, that was that time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's why that's there. And I'll talk about the other list in my week. So, there's a couple other things that I did that's linked below, such as a review of Pacific Rim Blackout, which is the comic book prequel to Pacific Rim The Black, the anime on Netflix, which just ended. I really enjoyed that book. Spoiler alert, reviews glowing. Check that out if you're interested in just seeing my first ever comic book review.
Nice.
And then I did a article on the Babysitters Club. I just found out that show was canceled, and the showrunner of it talked a lot about how these like why that could have been, why such a critically acclaimed and successful show that was doing really good numbers was canceled by Netflix, and like her conjunction of that. So I kind of put all that into an article and talked about the importance of a show like the Babysitters Club for young girls. Again, going back to that kind of representation that is often overlooked, because as the article states, young girls often are, they get Doc McStuffins and then they're expected to go to Euphoria. There's nothing really in between for them. So that's where the Babysitters Club fit in, and now it's gone. So
and
kind of like talking about
Netflix just axed all those people into dumb and stuff. So it's like they're just digging themselves a bigger grave.
Yeah, which we will get into a little later. Yeah, so those are the kind of three main things I did this week. I unfortunately did not get the specific Infinity Saga piece that I wanted to get out. It ended up being it's just very long right now, so I'm just finalizing that. That'll be this week for sure. Ben, your Fusion Gaming Magazine. This is going to be the last week that I put the purchase link in the description.
That's fine.
But it's always going to be there, guys. So check it out if you want that magazine. That's there.
Yep, issue 31 is my very first official printed article in any medium, so woohoo. Yeah.
And then you have 2 episodes from not this week, but the week prior.
Yeah.
So Super Mario 3D World.
Yep, Grayson and I, Grayson who's in the chat, BT Dubs, we took last week off, and we met up and recorded some more stuff today. But yeah, go ahead, check them out. Fun times. Fun times are had by all. Depth perception and all that jazz.
You finished World 5, right?
We did. We did finish World 5.
So you're getting there.
We're getting there.
And then finally, there are 2 Fake Nerds watches in the description from the week prior. Moon Knight 2 and 3, and Picard 6 and 7. So both of those are linked below. New episodes for those have been recorded. Sparks, like I mentioned up top, Sparks has moved and a little bit of backlog right now that he will catch up on. So stay tuned. That's the links, guys. That's all the links.
Woo!
Who wants to go first of their week?
I'll do it. It's me. So I don't have a job right now, which is awesome. So I'm going to start to do a whole lot more stuff, but I took this week pretty easy because, getting adjusted, moving things in, making sure. Does that look cool? Probably. It's fine. So what did I do this week? I started watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure again. There's a podcast on Giant Bomb called Jeff's Bizarre Adventure. And it is a much like All Systems Goku, which is a Dragon Ball Z watch along podcast. They're now doing it for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. So I hopped on that train. There's also, they have a guest, Super Eye Patch Wolf from YouTube, who makes incredible YouTube videos. So it's a really fun podcast to do, a podcast every 3 episodes. Great stuff. So I'm on episode 6. So I'm going to watch that, continuing to love that. There's just nothing like JoJo. There really is nothing like it. And it's clear to see its influences everywhere. Now that I'm ingrained in oh man, this is the weird shit. And nobody does it like this specific studio. And I'm only at the beginning. So I haven't even gotten to the stand stuff where they have people hanging out behind them as shadow monsters. So I'm excited to get to that shit in 5 years, or whatever. I started watching because I had it on Amazon. Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, which is a early 2000s comedy. It's a fake documentary show about a canceled television show that never premiered by a guy named Garth Marenghi. And he's like Stephen King, if Stephen King was awful and misogynistic and homophobic and all the things you don't want someone to be as a writer. And he made this show called Dark Place, and it was so ahead of its time. It was revolutionary that it got canceled. And then you watch the show that he made, and it's horrible, but it's a comedy. It's made horrible on purpose.
Yeah.
It is so funny. It's an ER drama, but it's like ER meets Twin Peaks meets like Adult Swim. The comedy is so extreme and it's so funny, but they take it so seriously because it's like an ER drama. Like if George Clooney was like on an Adult Swim show, it's insane.
That's pretty great.
It's really like, it's like a cult classic. And like, I get it now. I get now why. And it's got so many famous British people on it that like you recognize immediately, like Richard Ayoade, Matt Berry. This is like where he got his start. And he is his character in that TV show might be my favorite character in a television show of all time. He's like this snooty actor who takes everything so seriously, but he talks like this all the time. And like, you think it'd get annoying. It never gets annoying. It's so good. I love it so much. It was only one season. So it was also a show that got canceled about a show that got canceled. That's kind of funny. So I'm gonna finish watching that and I'll get back to you. I played some Elden Ring, Ben. I did a little bit of that. We'll talk about that when he goes his thing. Besides that, I don't remember what else I did because it's probably inconsequential. Oh, I played a little bit of Marvel Superheroes 2. I played a few hours of that. I played a few hours of that. It's fun. I think I'm ready to play Lego Star Wars. No offense to those games, but it's just like I play those games every now and then, and it's good enough. And it's like the production value there, it's really high. It's really fun. Like the Marvel stuff is so good. Like the attention to detail with all the character stuff is insane.
Real quick, I think just like I've been thinking about it lately and just watching people post videos of Lego Star Wars specifically, but also looking at some of the stuff you were posting from Superheroes too. And there's like some things that are like, they're wholly original to the game, but there are some things where they're clearly calling up the MCU films, like the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 opening with the creature. And I really think that Lego perfected the movie adaptation video game.
Yeah.
Like you want to hit all the nostalgic beats of like, I saw a movie, I kind of want to play that movie. Lego's pretty much the go-to of adapting that. Like everything else needs to that's ever done movie adaptations have pretty much all failed, or they needed to be like completely different from the film to work. Yeah. And I think Lego truly captures like, do you want to just feel like you're in the movie, but also it's Lego? And I think they're really good at that.
Yeah, and it's like a little goofier, and they can still have like dramatic moments, but I don't ever think everything's like super serious, but like they allow it to be taken seriously enough for like you're in the story, and like it's like a real ass like story, like it's a fully fledged like original story.
They're really the only ones who I would consider made a good Jurassic Park video game.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun. I've played that one, and I'm like, this feels like I'm engaging with the films in a way where I'm being interactive with it, and it's a lot of fun. Same with nobody talks about it a lot, but the Lego Incredibles game. You want to feel like you're living in the world of the Incredibles? Play Lego Incredibles. It feels really good.
The only thing, and I bought the DLC on sale. I bought the season pass on sale. It was like half off. If I would have bought that season pass at full price, I probably would be a little bummed out because you buy that Guardians pack for like $3 or $5 and it's just the opening scene and it's like 10 minutes long. So like you play that thing and you're done. And then I play the Wakanda one and it's like, okay, you play as Shuri and Black Panther. And so you get these new characters and it's like a platforming scene for 10 minutes and then you're done. And I'm like, wow, I'm glad I did not pay. If I paid $5 for this, I'd be a little bad. So I'm glad I got it on sale.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. There are like, again, like they don't skimp on like the obscure stuff. Like they had Iron Man 2020 and Nosferatu, who is the lady Nosferatu Dracula lady. And I'm like, at least they're really diving in. Like I had a team of like Hawkeye, Sparky the dog, and Viv Vision, Thanos, and Iron Man 2020. I'm like, well, this is stupid.
I mean, that's very true of like whatever film franchise it is, they are very good at just like, they love those movies. They pick apart those movies for like anything or whatever the source materials, Marvel comics or whatever. They pick apart any way to squeeze in like fun Easter eggs or nods or quirky things.
The Living Totem was the last character I unlocked, and I was like, wow, I don't know who this is.
I don't know who that is either. That's awesome. Google time. It is buggy. I'm surprised that it's like it's really buggy. And I remember I stopped playing it last time because I hit a bug and I'd have to restart the thing over. And then I posted it on Twitter, like I just fell through the world all the way through and I kept falling. And I'm like, how long is this gonna fall? And it didn't stop for like 3 minutes. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta restart it, and I had to play like another section 20 minutes over, and I'm like, oh, this is so frustrating. But it's fun enough and it's cutesy enough where I'll probably redo it again. The save system, it's definitely, even though it's a modern game, it's definitely like old school checkpoint systems where like you have to play like a whole S level basically almost.
Yeah,
like, that's I sometimes I gotta stop or I want to stop. Besides that though, having a great time. I will wait for Star Wars to be on sale just because I don't need to be spending a lot of money right now. But I am excited to play that because like I'm ready for a updated Star Wars game. And besides that,
all the bugs will hopefully be patched by then.
Yeah.
I'll go next because Ryan's definitely forgetting a big thing, which is totally fair. It's been 2 weeks, and it was like the thing we immediately did after the last podcast episode.
I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks.
We watched Evangelion Thrice Upon a Time together.
Yes.
Immediately after we finished recording.
It has been 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And my life was changed forever.
Good man. That is some good shit.
That is some really good shit.
Fourth.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
the final.
That's pretty good.
The final of the Eva films.
I can see why
you're
it's
gonna
divisive.
have to, Ben. You got
No,
19
I
weeks,
will.
baby.
I will watch the Eva films. I'm looking forward to Eva films. I'm just looking back to what Ryan posted on Twitter on how Evangelion and Barbie Girl match like perfectly.
Oh, I saw that.
There's such a beautiful thread of songs that Ava goes well with and vice versa and stuff. And I'm like, man, like Cruel Angel's Thesis is such a bop. It goes well with anything.
It is.
I'm not going to dig into that movie at all because look for our 300th episode for that.
Yeah.
So what else I did with my week? I watched a little bit more Craig of the Creek. I'm slowly trying to get back into the rhythm of keeping up with some of the Cartoon Network shows I'm sad that I slipped off of. So I'm doing that. We watched Moon Knight. You can hear us talk about that real soon. Ryan and I also got high one night for 420 and watched Blockers.
Oh, that's true. Happy 420, everyone. 2 weeks ago.
Excellent John Cena performance. Excellent. Really, really loved it.
Oh yeah, I remember Blockers. That's pretty good.
I read the latest chapter of Dragon Ball Super. It's all Bardock all the time, baby, and I'm very pleased right now. And that's all I'll really say about that. I went and saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2 again with our buddy, friend of the podcast, Forrest, because he hadn't seen it. And I took a break from the hecticness of this week to go do that with him. That movie rips. I'm really glad that I went and saw it again. Really good time. Still a lot of movies I want to see, but I'm glad I made it out for that second trip.
Real quickly, Sparks. I want to address Grayson's comment about your camera, which is to say, when he's using his phone right now, so when Sparks switches to his notes app to look at what he's done, the camera just goes black for a bit, but we can still hear him.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I only have a couple things left. So what I'm gonna say is Ryan did me just a little bit dirty inadvertently, and he shared a clip of a thing called the Anti-Donna podcast.
Oh yeah,
he ruined me because I didn't know there was one that's 300 episodes deep, and I've listened to a lot of Anti-Donna this past week. Is what I'm saying, and boy, because I went back to the beginning, and it's wild because they basically sit down and start recording 3 episodes at a time and just don't have structure or know what they want to do and they just make themselves yes and each other, and they constantly break and they constantly just are stumbling around and figuring it out. In one of the most recent episodes I listened to, they had a guest on and she told this whole story about how she made her dad uncomfortable to get back at him for joking about her being queer in a fun way by asking him if he still liked anal. And so then later in the podcast, and totally tangentially without any lead up, she decided to call her dad on speakerphone and ask him, which led to everybody on the Anti-Donna podcast calling their dads and asking them how they felt about anal on speaker. So that's what you're in for. No episode is the same. It's all just random insanity.
Can I ask real quickly, Ben? Have you seen the Anti-Donna show on Netflix?
Nope.
You gotta.
Australians' finest comedians.
I was pretty caught up on most of my podcasts, so I decided to dive on that pretty hard. And then one other that I'd been meaning to pick up and go through again, and I found my opportunity because a lot of what I was doing this week was packing and moving things, and I just needed something on in the background that I wasn't actually totally paying attention to. And one of the things I decided for that to be was Star Wars: The Clone Wars, so that I could listen to a more civilized age podcast as they talk about it. A great podcast. I'm happy to go back to it. I'd listened to the first 8, I think, episodes just before they get to Revenge of the Sith.
I love it. So happy.
They have such wonderful discussions about Clone Wars, and I'm thrilled to be like thinking about it as I'm like background experiencing it. I kind of don't even need to watch it because they cover everything so thoroughly. But it's nice to refresh myself just a little bit while I was cleaning and fixing things up. And I just like the concepts of what was at play at Clone Wars is just so wonderful to me. And some of the things they talk about, things that did happen and things that didn't happen for the characters, is so cool. There is one other thing I filled my time with in the background during this period of time, and it was the Pirates of the Caribbean original trilogy, which was Black Pearl and Dead Man's Chest and At World's End. And I will admit that this is the first time since theaters I think I've enjoyed World's End this much. Yeah, I have a pretty clear idea of what doesn't work for me about that movie, and it's I think it's 5 very specific things, and I do think they're problems, and I think they're big problems. But I think I've moved far away from what I expected that movie to be, not being a thing that hurts me enjoying that movie now.
Yeah.
Now it's just, there are some problems I have with just choices they made with certain things in that movie.
You know what, Sparks? I'll take it.
Yeah. It's not garbage. It's just it was nice to have shed my expectations away and actually enjoy it. Yeah, I still think that there's deep flaws, but certainly nowhere near as much as like the last Pirates film. So
boy, when you look at the last Pirates film, if you compare 3 to 5, 3's a masterpiece.
I'd say it's not even close.
I
remain very staunch in about I think the entire like Calypso come about is mishandled, and I think that's the biggest like Achilles heel to me of At World's End, is just the reveal of Calypso, the release of Calypso, what that means, how it affects other characters, just doesn't work to me.
I think 1 and 2. 2's my favorite. I think
2's
1
my
is
favorite.
I
2's
think
my favorite too.
2's insane. I think
So-
1.
so I
I
would
think
say-
1 is the best movie, like actual movie. But 2 is
I
just
agree.
like so good.
Here's the thing. I would say that Pirates 2 is I think the best Pirates film of the Pirates films, if it did not require
Yes.
World's End to finish its story. But because it's not a self-contained story on its own, I have to say that the first one's the best.
Cliffhanger, baby.
One will always be my favorite. That just hit all the right notes for me.
Honestly,
movie.
it's very
Oscar-nominated movie, man.
Yeah, I remember going into that movie thinking, "There's no way this is going to be a good movie. This is a movie
Right.
based off a Disneyland ride. This movie's going to suck." My entire
Sure.
family goes into it. My entire family walks out of it thinking, "We got to go Disneyland ride Pirates of the Caribbean because that was freaking awesome."
And
You
then
know-
be disappointed because it's not as good.
Yeah, you know who got done dirty by Hollywood? Gore Verbinski. That dude has made nothing but mostly good movies, and then just
the
like
whole time. The whole time I was watching, I'm like, "Where's his Marvel movie? I want his Marvel movie."
Yeah, same.
That's a good point.
that dude was
Man,
gonna make
give
Bioshock.
him Nova.
Give him
Oh.
anything. That dude's so talented. Like he made Rango, and Rango I think is one of the best animated movies ever made. And no
Yeah,
one
I
ever
love
talks
Rango.
about Rango ever. The movie's
Rango was really good. The snake with the Gatling gun for the Rattler, that was really
Oh
cool.
yeah. Love the snake with the Gatling gun.
I forgot.
Here's the thing: Rango is incredible. I cannot watch it because that snake looks too photoreal.
yeah, I get it. But he's got a
Which-
cute hat on.
Which is like, that's the point. Like they made a photorealistic, stylized animated movie. They succeeded
I'll
in
tell-
that, and it's great.
Who's the voice?
Brandon-
Is Bill Nye the voice of
Yes.
the snake?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, Fox.
Brandon, I'll make it one of my editing projects for my life to make some more cartoonish version of the snake so that you can actually watch that movie. I'll replace it with some kind of basic puppet.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Because we've all said our favorite parts of the Caribbean, I feel the need to just reiterate that mine is the third one. My favorite is the third.
That
Yeah.
final ship battle scene is amazing.
Sure,
That
absolutely.
movie is just bonkers. And
It is.
I dig it.
And I might not. I would rather it be over the top and big and bloated than not, because that's like what a big blockbuster should be.
Yeah,
and like at least it goes for it. And I don't like all of it, but like, man, I'd rather it be that than like not even try.
Yeah.
It tries too much, and I respect it. I would say respect that part, man. It's
sorry, right? I wasn't laughing at you. I was laughing at Grayson's comment, which is put googly eyes on the snake to help.
Somehow that feels like it would be more scary.
Yeah, I have to say, like, I think one of the I don't want to. This is not a Pirates discussion, but like I don't. I think one of the biggest things that besides Calypso that I realized, and I didn't realize it was as big a thing to me until this viewing, where I was like, oh, I really hate this part, is I don't like the way Norrington's taken out of the film.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's a disservice to the character and like what they've done to build up to him. He just gets stabbed by Will's dad because he helps Elizabeth escape the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah,
and like it's kind of a it feels very nothing for the character, especially because like nobody acknowledges it after it's happened.
Like they didn't know what to do with
outside of Elizabeth having watched it happen and being upset about it in the moment. Nobody ever talks about Norrington again.
The most interesting thing they did with Norrington is that second movie.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%. And I think that's the thing, is like he's one of the most compelling characters at the end of that movie, and then the third one does nothing with him.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
The water wheel fight.
The water wheel fight is so good.
I know we're just regurgitating amazing things from Pirates of the Caribbean films, but that water wheel fight was so goddamn good.
Not only that, but like they forced the really gross him forcing a kiss on Elizabeth before he sends her off the ship. Because he knows he's going to sacrifice himself. So he's like, I'll get in my one lip lock of the lady who never really liked me, but I always like sexually fantasized about her. So here we go.
This is the moment.
That really sucks. That just really sucks. Everything about what they did with the character in the end sucks.
Agreed.
But I'm a hero.
Anything else, Sparks?
No, that's it. I'm done.
All right, Ben. When do you want to
go? Yeah, I'll go. I can't. I mean, it's been a while, so the last few weeks, what I've been doing, the one game I did start playing that isn't Elden Ring or anything else is actually my copy of Advance Wars for the Game Boy Advance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I started playing that. I mean, we know the remake is coming. I mean, Nintendo hasn't made any new news on when the remake will get released.
I thought you meant the remake, sorry.
No. The original.
That's still not out.
Yeah, that's still not out because of course, the war in Ukraine. Yeah. And I started playing it, and it's a really fun tactics game. It's Advance Wars. It's just Fire Emblem, but with different units, with different tanks, or with tanks and helicopters and planes and all that stuff. But it's fun. I'm enjoying it. I have the sequel too, so if I beat the first one and then I have the sequel before the remake gets out, then sweet, I'm good to go. So I've been playing that. This week, or the week prior, was rough. I was struggling a lot with writing and just a lot of other things. And this week I took a bit of a break, but I was also stressed because we were also celebrating Fanny's birthday was this past week.
Happy birthday, Fanny.
Like, but Ben, you're celebrating your girlfriend's birthday. Why are you stressed? It's like, because we had some things planned, but luckily we made the best of it and it was still fun. And then I finally decided to say, you know what, enough is enough. And I have my first ever therapy appointment on Friday.
Nice.
Proud of you, genuinely.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's probably not my first therapy, but I don't know the difference between therapy and family counseling. If there is a difference, there probably is. Has to be. Mm-hmm. I don't know why I'm rambling right now.
Well, there's a family involved in the first one.
Yeah, there's a family involved in the first one. So this time it's just
it's good. You've been struggling a lot lately with just life and your job, and I'm happy you did this. I'm really proud of you.
One of the things that really triggered it was getting the positions for Fusion, Go Nintendo, and the news that I'm working for OSG or writing for OSG, even though you would think that with Go Nintendo, Fusion, and OSG, because a lot of them are very they're very laid back. They're very chill. They're not super deadline heavy. They're not like you have to make this or else. But I keep imposing that rule on myself. It's like I need to get this done or else because I'm very. It's weird. I'm very get homework done first, then you can play. Like when I was a kid, I would get home from when I was a kid, even back when I was in college, I got home. Well, maybe not so much in college, but I got home, I got my homework done, and then I was able to play with my friends or play video games or do whatever I wanted. So
Me too.
I'm definitely the type who was doing homework like 30 minutes before class.
100%.
And guess what? I still passed. It doesn't matter because I'm here now.
I mean, I did that once when I was in middle school, and then I got in the absolute worst trouble I've ever gotten in my entire life, which is probably one of the reasons why I might be maybe some of my traumas. Who knows? Maybe. So yeah, getting real for a hot second. I have a therapy appointment set for Friday, and hopefully this could be the start of me feeling better and getting better, because I have been feeling like absolute hot garbage. And there have been some very not dark. When I say dark days, I mean like up here, not like to the mass extreme, but there have been some days where my mind decides to mess with me, and it's not fun. And I've been experiencing that more and more the past few years than I have in my entire life. So I'm finally saying enough is enough, and I'm finally gonna do something about it.
Good for you, bud.
I want to just tell you, I know what I have to say doesn't mean anything, but
no, it does.
Go easier on yourself with those deadlines. These freelance jobs are not more important than your health.
Yeah,
it's very, very true.
Yeah, I mean, I took a bit of a break, about half of last week, and then this week I didn't do any writing whatsoever.
I just want to go one step further on what Brandon said and say, no job is worth more than your health.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
you're absolutely right. So,
but I wanted to specify that the freelance ones, like, these are the ones that you set this time for yourself. You put this is your time that you have decided to put into this passion of yours. And you don't want to burn that out, which means you got to put yourself first.
Right, which is why I'm happy to say that after this nice little break, I have ideas and I have the urge to work again. So I'm gonna try and make a little bit better work schedule instead of staying up till like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Or also maybe get a different work schedule.
Yeah, that too.
Because like getting home at midnight, 1 a.m, Ben, is also a lot of it. As someone who used to work nights all the time too, guess what? I'm not the best still, but I'm significantly better that I don't get home at midnight every night.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I hope you. We've been on this a long time, but I'm happy that this is happening, and I hope it can lead to significant change in your life.
Outside the horrible state that is my mental facilities, I was a guest on a podcast this week. I was apparently their very first reoccurring guest on the Lack of Genius podcast. You guys might remember I was on the show a while ago where I quizzed the hosts, Kevin and John, on retro video games. Well, this time I quizzed them on Super Mario Bros., the video game series.
Let's go.
Yeah, so that one should be coming out next Thursday or this upcoming Thursday. Cool. But once it does come out, of course, I'll let everyone know. Be like, hey, go ahead and listen to this awesome episode. They're really cool guys. I really enjoy listening to their show, and it's a fun time.
Did they agree that Mario is saying Mexico, not let's go?
You know what? I never brought that up when I was with them.
Genuinely,
I'm surprised.
Next time.
I did not bring that up, and
that's a top tier Ben anecdote. I'm surprised that didn't come up.
No, never did. Charles Martinet came up, but never that.
Anything else, Ben?
Let's see. A thing called Elden Ring.
The game that keeps on giving.
Yep, the game that keeps on giving. And Ryan, I am happy to report that I have brought another into the fold of Elden Ring.
Oh.
He's chilling in the chat right now, too. He knows
Grayson.
who he is. Yeah, it's totally Grayson.
Yeah, Grayson. Get that grace. Yeah. Get that tarnished ring.
Little sizzle for his YouTube channel, but we may or may not have done some Elden Ring earlier today. And
hell yeah.
Yeah, it just makes me happy. Just makes me happy to bring someone else into the fold of Elden Ring. And Ryan, you and I murdered a giant snake this weekend.
My favorite boss in the game. Absolutely.
That was also a really cool boss.
Where you get I've been using the sword, the Blasphemous Blade, which is a giant greatsword covered in like the guts and goo of dead like people that this guy has killed, and it's like moves. It's like a sword that is like gooey moving. I've used that sword for like 50 hours, and now Ben can get it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I actually got it. From the finger reader crone in the round table hold. And guys, Elden Ring, like Ryan said, it's the game that just keeps on giving. When I was talking about it with Grayson earlier today, I was like, dude, this game came out in February, and already it's everyone's game of the year, or a majority of people's game of the year.
People are still playing it. Like it's not. We don't usually get single player. It has multiplayer components, but a single player game where people are still playing it months later. It's because there's just not just so much to do, there are hundreds of ways to do it. Like
Yeah.
the amount of like speed runs I've watched, the amount of like, oh, we're gonna do a butt slam only run, a shield only run, a torch only run. Can I play the entire game without hitting anyone? Can I play the entire game without being a pacifist? And you can. You don't have to hit a single person at the game. You can let your summons kill everybody in the entire game. That's just it takes like twice as long, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's like that's why like I'm gonna start doing like I'm gonna make a storm character, Aurora Monroe, and be a lightning dagger lady. For a stream I'm gonna do, and I'm like, just you could do so much stuff. I've seen Shrek, I've seen Voldemort, I've seen every Harry Potter character because you could do magic shit.
Sonic.
Like, I've seen Sonic with the rolls. I've seen Blanca do the same thing. It's great.
Yeah, and I'm just also glad that Grayson's playing, so now I can help him do essentially what you did with me, Ryan. I was like, hey, let's go explore Limgrave. Let's go over here. Let's take care of this dungeon. So not only can I help him out, but also can also farm for root arcs because I need a lot of those.
Hey man, everybody benefits. It's all right.
Yeah, but it was so fun looking at, like, when we first got the map to Limgrave, which is the first main area of the game, just like when he opens it up and just see a completely barren Limgrave with like 3 or 4 graces there. And I'm just sitting there going, I know everything that's like, I know 90% of everything that's to the east and to the north. So it's like, I cannot wait.
One of my weird, like, I'm not going to call it a kink, but like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, one of my favorite things is maps revealing themselves or turning colors. Like, in like any war movie, it's like, oh, like the Europeans did this, blah, blah, blah. And like, it turns from like red to green on a map. That makes me get like so horny, and I don't know why. I just love revealing things. And Elden Ring has the greatest map revealing.
That's a kink.
I don't know what it is. It's like, I love like in Elden Ring, you have an entire map to explore, and then there's also a subterranean underneath, like so much, right? And the first time you notice it, I was like, oh yeah, baby, yes! I love it. I love
it's a fetish. It's a fetish.
Yeah. I would agree that's probably a fetish, but man, I mean, I'll probably be playing some tonight. Just because I got that bug.
Indiana Jones transitions to the map, and Ryan goes, "Oh
no, really!" Like with I think that might be the origin, because I love when people travel on maps, like globes and stuff too. And I'm like, go from here to here. Love it. I love it.
I agree.
I love maps. I don't know why.
I know what we're getting you for Christmas.
It's just a big ass map.
Yeah, Grayson's.
It's got to be like a scratch off. Like you do achievements in your real life and you scratch.
Oh my god! If that's real, I'm gonna lose my mind.
It's like those tattoos that people get out of the world where they color in a country they visit.
That's a lot of ink. That's a lot of ink.
That is a lot of ink.
Anything else, Ben?
Nope, that's my week.
All right, my turn, and I'm sorry, this might go a little long. Battlestar Galactica: The Plan, which is the TV movie that they did after the TV series, is not a good note to go out on that show. Do not watch that show. Do not watch that movie last. If you can find a place to do it there.
They kept putting stuff out after that show, and maybe if I go back to it, some of it will be good. But like those first couple things, I'm just like, I want no part of this.
I think genuinely the Blood and Chrome web miniseries that's a prequel is pretty good.
Is that the most recent thing?
I think so.
Okay.
And then because they did The Plan, then they did Caprica, and then they did Blood and Chrome.
I didn't like Caprica either.
Caprica sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah. So Battlestar Galactica: The Plan is set just before the attack on the 12 colonies and goes to a point in season 2, and we see like it's the Cylon perspective, because what they realized was, what was the Cylon plan? And so they decided to make a movie to try to explain it. But the thing is, Ron Moore even admitted he never had a plan. The Cylons didn't have a plan. It was just kill all the humans.
Mm-hmm.
So every single time it was like, and they have a plan. No, they don't. And so trying to kind of make a movie to make that make sense and make the Cylon motivation just not seem like, we're just going to try and kill you in interesting ways. It didn't quite work. Also, they use a lot of old repurposed footage, and I wish they just filmed the new stuff, honestly.
Sure.
Okay. I watched The Batman while I was home with my dad. I want to bring that up because that movie's great, 1. And 2, it's 3 hours long. And I had realized that, like, I got a couple hours before I have to go to bed, and my dad's getting ready to go to bed. So he goes to do his thing. Mind you, people watching, my dad is 89 years old, and he is on oxygen. He cannot get around very well. So about 30 minutes into the movie, he comes back into the living room and sits down because, that's just his routine. And then 2.5 hours later, he gets up because the movie's over. He really liked it, but he was like, it's pretty long. I go, yeah, it probably feels a lot longer to you, honestly.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
I was just really happy that he liked it because in that same weekend, my dad, who loves Dune, asked me, when is the new Dune movie coming out?
Next year.
And I said next year. And he said, no, I might miss that one. And I was like, I really wish you didn't say that.
At least he's got a sense of humor.
I don't want that to be a sense of humor.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you, bud.
Yeah. I went up to see my dad this weekend, and it was a little hard because he's not doing well. But anyway. And I watched Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, which is the second Sherlock Holmes movie. I love that movie. I think the movie rules. That's all I need to say about that. Except for Jared Harris is wonderful. Jared Harris is great as Moriarty. And the fact that we didn't get Jared Harris as bad guys in like multiple movies is a shame because he's so good as it. Still think he should have been Dumbledore.
Have I got a video game adaptation for you?
Boston Space?
Resident Evil 2.
He is right. He's the guy in the wheelchair.
You didn't know? You didn't? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's great in that.
Oh,
yeah.
The movie. I was thinking the game.
Movie.
Never mind.
Yeah, he's the guy who made the T-virus. I remember. It's all coming back to me now.
I remember that now.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I watched Mandy for the first time. I had initially thought that we were going to review Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. We did not. Spoiler alert for later in the show. So I was like, I should watch some of the recent Nick Cage movies that people loved. So I decided to start with Mandy, which is a movie I half liked. It's a bit too weird for me in the beginning, but the second half, I think is pretty great. There's a lot of really awesome action.
Did you hear that, everyone? Brandon doesn't like art. I'm just kidding. I am just kidding.
I'm gonna hang myself now.
It is weird. It's a weird one. If you thought that was weird,
I understand where Mandy doesn't vibe for people.
Yeah.
Don't watch the other movie he made, Beyond the Black Rainbow, because it's way worse. I mean, it's a good movie, but it's way weirder. Oh yeah.
I really dug the last act, the last half. I think there's a lot of like Chainsaw. Nick Cage just being really crazy is just always fun to watch. Like, you ripped my shirt. Like it's a great line. The chainsaw sword fight. It's good stuff.
I don't want to like harp into Mandy or anything. I think the scene after everything's gone to shit and he's in the bathroom
and he breaks down
is one of his best scenes in his career.
Yeah,
like the just that is the reaction after what you just went through, and then you get the Cheddar Goblin just walking.
The Cheddar Goblin's pretty great, actually.
Big commercial.
Do you know who wrote that? Just that commercial. Do you know who wrote just that commercial? Dan Harmon.
No kidding.
Yes.
I did think it sounded a little Community. In season 6 of Community, season 5 of Community, there's the there's the Spanish ripoff of Gremlins that it reminded me very heavily of. All right. Then I watched 1883, the first 5 episodes of the Yellowstone prequel series. 1883 with Sam Elliott. Super random, I know, but I'm bringing it up because it's pretty good.
Where are we?
Have you watched Yellowstone yet?
No. But here's why I did this. Again, I went to see my dad. He loves Yellowstone, and he really wanted to watch 1883, and only I know how to work their TV. So I was like, okay, yeah, we'll watch it. I figured I'd just kind of half watch it, but I got really into it. It's pretty good. It's a Western show. I have no idea what it has to do with anything related to Yellowstone. The park, not the show. I haven't seen the show. I can't say that. But because it takes place in a different state. Anyway, it's a good show. I like it. Sam Elliott's great. Okay. Now I'll get to some of the juicy stuff. I watched Ambulance, Michael Bay's Ambulance.
Ooh.
Oh, I want to see it.
Michael Bay really likes cops.
Yeah.
He is really into
and the military.
yeah.
Have you seen Transformers?
Yes, he is really into being like cops are great, cops are wonderful. Outside of that, movie's a lot of fun. The cast was really hamming it up. The guy who plays the Terminator in Sarah Connor Chronicles, Sparks, that's a reference for you.
He's in a lot of other stuff, but he's like,
Which
that guy?
The second one, the fake skin.
The one that they fixed.
He's in The Gifted.
He's in The Gifted.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
The dad from Raising Hope, yeah.
Raising
Yes.
God,
yeah.
I just talked about this actor's name with John Radley recently.
I'll figure it out. I got you.
No, I got you.
Okay.
There's a bit where he's got like this big dog that's just constantly in the fight. It's really funny. Believe the hype about the drone shots. I know, Brian, you probably saw some of like the drone shot footage. It's incredible.
Garrett Dillahunt.
Yeah,
Garrett Dillahunt.
Yeah.
He's fantastic every time I've ever seen him.
What are you gonna say, Ryan?
Man.
I was gonna say, like the camera work in the movie, it's really impressive. I haven't seen the movie. I'll probably go this week now because I forgot. There's so many movies out, but I also want to see the Nick Cage movie. Darn it!
There's so many movies. Jake Gyllenhaal's great. He's really fun in this movie. It's a good movie. I liked it a lot.
Awesome.
Then I read. You know what? I'll do this. No, I'll do the comics first. Okay, I did Moon Knight. I finished reading all of Brian Michael Bendis and Alex Miller's Moon Knight. That's pretty good. Echo is handled very poorly. But I really like what they do with Mark. I think kind of like him trying to figure out how other heroes have their abilities, kind of trying to mimic them, is good stuff. I mean, I was into it.
And the art is so good. Even if you don't like the book, like Maliv's art is so good.
Maliv's art is worth the price alone. Maliv is a great artist. And then a trailer dropped this week that for a Thor movie, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do the impossible because it probably won't happen. But I'll do my best. I'm gonna read all of Jason Aaron's Thor. I already read the first, I think, 20 issues. And so like just going back to like so basically what I did this week was I read the first 5 issues of Thor the last 5 issues of Thor the God of Thunder, which is Thor versus Roxxon in the present and Thor versus Galactus in the future. Yeah, that's the book. So I really love that. I thought that was awesome. The stuff with Roxxon and Dario Agger. Yeah. Dario, your mic's still muted, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan, you're muted.
Silly me. I still wish it was Dario Agger, but like Gore's also really, really dope as hell.
Yeah. Dario Agger, like actively trying to destroy the planet through Roxxon is such good stuff. And Thor having to wrestle with the fact that he loves this planet, but he can't do anything about it. And juxtaposing that with the future of Earth as a wasteland and King Thor is still trying to protect it, even when Galactus shows up. It's like, barren wasteland. I've been trying to kill this barren wasteland for generations. Like, I'm doing this, guy. You're not going to stop me.
All that, yeah, like past, present, future Thor stuff is so good. And what's really great is like at the end of the saga, 10 years later, he releases the King Thor miniseries that like caps everything. That is a continuation of the story plus that. So it's like Jason Aaron's magnum opus. Like I think it's the best thing he's ever done.
I really like it so far. The 5th volume of the Complete Collections, which is how I'm collecting it, is not out yet, but I have the first 4. The other thing is it goes to yes, Ben. Okay, well, look, if you'll wait, I'll just pick up my copy and I'll show that too. I'm kidding, Ben. The where I went to, I decided to like, okay, well, now I'm at the part where Original Sin happens, so I should go read Original Sin. And then I was like, but if I do that, I want to read Original Sin, the 10th Realm, which is the crossover, which is the Thor Loki crossover one for that. And so I decided to also read Loki, Agent of Asgard by Al Ewing.
It's a good book.
Which I really enjoy. It's very fun. It's basically like a heist. It's a heist book with Loki dealing with the fact that he was going to turn into the god of evil someday. Really good stuff. Al Ewing is great as always. And so that's what I read the first 5 issues of that, which led into Original Sin. So now I'm at Original Sin, and I just started reading that. just like one issue in, so it's not even worth mentioning. So yeah, that's all the comic books I read. I'm enjoying it so much I might get it done by July.
You got time.
Read 10 years worth of comics by July.
It's less than you'd think.
Sure.
12 issues a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like it, and I can't wait to read Mighty Thor, which is where I'm going to go after Original Sin. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
I went down a Toonami rabbit hole because of a link that I'm going to talk about right now, which is the other article that I was really proud of that I put up this week was a Toonami article. I was really surprised they let me do it. I basically ranked all the events that Toonami have done, all 10 of them, by like IMDb, and basically like I did a ton of research. I watched all the events, all the old ones and all the new ones. So if you guys don't remember, I'm sure you do. Toonami, back in our day, did an event called The Intruder, where a giant red glob ate Tom, and then a new Tom was born.
Mm-hmm.
They kept doing those. They did three before they were canceled, and then they've done 5. Hold on, what's 10 minus 3? 7, and they've done 7 since.
Mm-hmm.
So when they came back, they brought them back and they started doing more, and they introduced like. Okay, guys, Toonami is wild. So I'm going to talk a little bit about Toonami because those events are great. The effect, the lore that they have always had implemented in them is wild. The most recent event was called The Return, where the Absolution, which has been destroyed, which is his ship from the first Toonami, which has been destroyed for years, comes back, but somehow it's from 250 years in the future, and we don't know why. The event before that finds Tom's manufacturing plant where he is from, and he liberates a bunch of other Toms, and then they go off into space to explore and be great. And he's stuck on this thing. There's one event when they first came back where the Intruder, the Blob, comes back and he's wearing the first Tom's body, and it's all decayed and horrific. And he's like, "I'm going to kill all the Toms." And what I did was I killed Tom 4, and I was like, "What the hell's Tom 4?" So I looked that up. Tom 4 was the Tom that got the show canceled because nobody liked that Tom. So they've retconned it so that it is not the same Tom. So it's Tom 1, 2, and 3, same Tom. And then Tom 4, not the same Tom. So that Tom is now dead. Even though they canonically were like, yeah, that's a different Tom.
Okay. I gotta watch the anime to catch up.
It's really crazy that I went through so much lore. They also did a tribute to Moltar, who was the first Toonami host before they introduced Tom.
Moltar?
Moltar, yeah, from Space Ghost.
Yeah, Moltar. Yeah.
He's that Red Jackal dude, right?
Yeah.
No, he's
Brad.
the guy.
That's Brad.
He's the guy. Yeah, he's the guy in the
He's
atomic
Mantis.
suit.
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
He's the guy.
Moltar's the atomic suit.
Yeah.
He's usually operating the camera on Space Ghost coast to coast.
Yeah, he was Toonami when it first started for like 2 years, and then they introduced Tom. When his voice actor died, Toonami did a tribute where like Moltar sent him a voice recording being like, "I was always the best Toonami host. Screw you, Tom." And Tom was like, "Yeah, you were always the best. Safe travels, my friend." I was like, "That's sweet."
That's cute.
They had like Tom 3 talk to Tom 4 before he died. Oh, there's comics. It was such a wonderful rabbit hole to fall down. I'm completely at the bottom. There's no more. But the lore they have introduced in the show and the Toonami events is crazy. I was so into it. I was so happy I did that list. That list is awesome. This was so much fun to write. I cannot speak to it if it's awesome or not, but it was so much fun to write. I hope people enjoy it as much as I did, and I hope people revisit some of these things and watch these new events. They're really cool.
Are these just like those 2-minute things that they? Is this? Are we talking like an hour's worth of like material here? Like what?
Well, when you put them all together, because they were bumpers for Toonami. When you put them all together, they're 20 minutes.
Oh, that's not okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were talking like a lot of stuff.
Oh no, the rabbit hole didn't take me far. It was just really fun to be down.
Gotcha. Okay.
I really enjoyed it, and for like, there's one event where like Tom comes back from the future because Sarah, who's his AI, is like evil now. I was like, oh, I'm playing Halo 2. Good stuff. Really enjoyed going down that rabbit hole of just all the Toonami stuff. It was so much fun. I highly recommend people checking some of this stuff out, some of this lore stuff out, because it's really cool, especially if you're nostalgic for Toonami like I am. Yeah, awesome stuff. Check out that list if you want.
Love it.
I gotta check the list out.
Thank you. And then I finished Halo Infinite. That's the last thing I'll talk about. So I completely finished the Halo Infinite. I did. By that I mean the story. I'm pretty sure I'm actually done with it. But I did finish the campaign. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really solid. The story that they were telling is good. I still am bummed that we never really reached the potential of an evil Cortana. That's kind of my biggest. There's like 6 months between the opening of the game and then where the game actually starts, and then that's like years after Halo 5. So there's all that time where I'm like, I kind of wish I played that game too. Like I wish that there was that story that I could play, because I think that was interesting ground I liked, that we're just gonna be like, forget we did that.
Yeah, maybe that's a book.
Perhaps. Yeah, I thought the evil Cortana stuff was a good choice, and I'm sad that we never really got like a proper climax to that story, like proper like crescendo to that story.
They couldn't commit to it.
Yeah. I did, but other than that, I really liked Chief. Playing it, Steve Downes is great. He has this moment where he does feel remorse for what happened to Cortana, like he blames himself for her going evil, and he delivers that in 2 lines, and it's like you get everything you need, because Steve Downes, especially as Master Chief, is a man of very few words. He doesn't. Mm-hmm. He's not waxing poetic. But they're able to give him such great dialogue in this game that just like it sells it in just a line. It's good stuff.
I need a weapon.
The new character is awesome, and I really like the new AI. I think she's really fun, really good. The gameplay's great, a lot of fun. The only thing is, it doesn't feel complete.
It's not.
Because it's not, as we've talked about before. Ryan rightfully said they basically cut that game in half, and they still barely met their deadline. I hope that means that we're getting DLC story, either free or paid. But I don't want it to be the next game. Like I specifically don't think that Halo Infinite is done.
Oh no, this is their live service model. It's not Halo Infinite's it for the foreseeable future.
Well, I know that there's going to be like tons of multiplayer stuff, but they've not said whether or not they're going to do story DLC. So I'm kind of hoping that we're getting that.
I wouldn't be surprised, because they're definitely like they're all in, especially with like how development went. Like they probably have so much content they could turn into story, and there's no reason that they can't.
I'm sure. I'm sure that's true. There is just a part of me that's kind of looking at this like, obviously the story's not complete, but like specifically just doesn't feel like the game story is complete. Like the story of Halo 6 is not done.
Yeah.
And I hope that means that there is story DLC. I'm inclined to think that there is, because I've been also going down a bit of a Halo rabbit hole, like lore and stuff.
Halo 3 was going to have DLC that got turned into Halo 3 ODST. So it's not unprecedented that they get expansions that want to turn into a real game, but like they've tried it before, so like I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, me neither. I've also been going down because of it. Like it's just like a Halo rabbit hole of just kind of learning about the lore. I've always kind of like known the Halo lore, but I've never really known the Halo lore.
You gonna read some books?
Well, maybe. But I get like the philosophical nature of what the first trilogy and the new trilogy are trying to do now, whereas I didn't when I was a kid. Like I was just kind of like, oh yeah, the mantle of responsibility is a thing that the Covenant want, but I don't know what that means. Now I know what that means. I get the whole thing now, and so that was cool playing the game, just kind of having a more just a better understanding of it. Yeah, I think that's all I really need to say about that.
Cool.
That's my week.
Beautiful.
2 weeks.
Ooh, nice.
Shall we do our bread and butter?
Yes, please. Dinner time.
Let's do 47 more seconds of this, so we hit a perfect hour, and then we'll go on.
What can I say about Halo? No. Cool. All right. I forgot to pull this up. I'm definitely not stalling. All right. Got some sad news up top. Harold Livingston. You guys probably don't know, or probably not too familiar with, but he wrote a bunch of episodes of Mission Impossible, the old show, and most notably wrote Star Trek: The Motion Picture. He passed away this week at the age of 97.
Ooh. It's a prolific life.
Long life, yeah. Star Trek: The Motion Picture was also his last work, so he hasn't been working since.
That was like what, like 1970 or something too?
Yeah, it was after Star Wars, so it was like 78, 79.
Oh, okay, I gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
It was, I didn't realize it was that much later after the show.
Yeah, Star Wars is the reason why that movie came out.
That makes sense.
And then Neil Adams, prolific comic book writer and activist, passed away this week at the age of 80.
If you went to a comic book convention in the last 20 years, there's no way you didn't see his massive booth everywhere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That dude has a legacy, but I will always remember him as, oh my God, this guy has so much space at Comic-Con.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible.
He,
WonderCon.
real quickly, he's a great comic book artist. He's designed a lot of iconic covers. He's a great artist. But like one of the things that I think is really important is that he fought for the rights of the writers who write for these work for hire the contracts. Like he really fought for them getting the credit they deserve.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's still a fight that they need to fight, but like he was at the forefront of it for many years, up until his death, I believe. It's really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dude, like his work on Batman. I know his work from X-Men because I'm the X-Men dude. His work on X-Men in the 70s is some of the best early X-Men stuff. He draws Jean Grey specifically that like a lot of people have like this is their Jean Grey and it's his version of it. Just like the way he broke panel barriers and it's like like a structured grid where like he would just like shit just intertwines left and right and stuff. His stuff is like that's like really good. Like we did Green Lantern, Green Arrow on this podcast.
Yeah,
1 year ago, 2 years ago, like 9 years ago, who knows when. But that book still holds up. If not a little, a little dodgy here and there. But like,
he did the iconic cover of Green Lantern looking at Speedy at the heroin cover.
That
was his cover.
Yeah, like his Ra's al Ghul, Ra's al Ghul. How do we say it here? Who knows? His Ra's. Yeah, I say Ra's. His Ra's is also like the legendary look. Like his stuff with Batman in that time in the 80s is like so good. 80s nothing to sneeze at, but it's still too early.
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to some more bad news. I really should have done the good news first, actually.
No, that's okay. We built up to it.
Well, we had the title. Guys, we had a great 2 weeks for Fast and the Furious. We have finally got the title of Fast 10. It's not Fast 10 Your Seatbelts. It is Fast X.
Boom.
That's fine.
Boom.
It's fine. I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
I honestly, at this point, like, I'm here to see the movie. Like, I don't care.
In my heart, it is still Fast 10 Your Seatbelts.
Sure.
I mean, X is the Roman numeral for 10.
It is.
That's powers of X.
And then the bad news is the fact that Justin Lin left filming a week into it.
Y'all see that Vin Diesel hostage video?
Yeah.
Jesus, man. I've never seen somebody so nervous to be in a video.
just the you think this will be the best one? In my heart.
Oh. Apparently it's going to cost them $1 million a day to stop production. For the crew, the actors, the sets and stuff, $1 million a day. So unless they find a director, which they think they're not going to do, because most directors will want to come in and want to do their own things and stop production. What they think is going to happen is they're going to get like a second director, an AD director, to just take over because of some like legal obligations that like they don't have to pay a new director $20 million. Damn. So like I'd rather them get just a big old director and like fix the shit. But like, who knows what's about to happen? We might get a movie with like no director.
I think this sucks. Like part
this
of the reason.
Happen.
No, this is crazy that Justin Lin for 9 was like, I'm going to come back. I'm going to finish this franchise. I love this franchise. I'm here for it. And then like in a week into filming this movie, walks off the set.
I don't get it because like the script should be done. Right, so that shouldn't be a complication at this point.
And he wrote. He's credited as a co-writer.
The only thing that people can go to is like him and Vin, right? Like that's the only thing people can think of. Yeah. And I don't think he would post that video if it wasn't that, I don't know. It's so weird. Like what a franchise, like things just keep happening to it. Like its
Yeah.
main character, like its main lead, like dies tragically, and then like this one, its director is just gone. The guy who's leading the franchise to the end point is gone.
Yeah,
Get Ron Howard.
it means he's off this one. Probably not going to come back for the 11th and final one either.
Probably.
Yeah. There's no way. That I was really excited for him to be back in this franchise. And so that's really a blow.
People are mixed on 9, and I get it. I really like 9.
Yeah.
So I was ready for it to continue. I really hope they get a director who's like, I want to do something really cool. Like bring me in, coach, and they can do something really cool. Otherwise, like, I don't know what happens in this movie, man.
I do think that
Vin Diesel directs it.
I don't think.
See, that's the most likely opportunity. That's the most likely scenario in my head right now, because what I think happened, and like we're never going to know what really happened. Well, we might later, but like at this point, we're not going to know what really happened. I think what happened was Vin Diesel didn't like where the story was going. He didn't like where whoever was taking the story, whoever was writing it, was taking it, and Justin Lin was like, no, we should go this way, and Vin Diesel said, no, we should go this way, and Justin Lin was like, I walk.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that this happened in the middle of filming. That usually happens before.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a shame.
But, good news. Justin Lin is now available to direct Star Trek 4.
Hell yeah, baby. Bring it
Just
back.
saying.
That's
Bring it
right.
back.
He directed Beyond.
Come on.
I think Matt Shankar is currently the guy who's directing 4. The WandaVision guy. All right.
Yeah.
Well, time will tell what will happen to the Fast crew.
Yeah.
John? We talked about Brie Larson already. That was 2 weeks ago, right? Okay.
Yeah.
It's too much news.
John Watts, speaking of directors leaving, John Watts has left the Fantastic Four movie. A little bit better than the Justin Lin leaving, because he was like, I just don't want to do superhero movies again. I just want to take a break.
Announced Spider-Man 4 starts filming soon.
Still a little weird. I don't know why you agree to take on Fantastic Four and change it at this moment in time, but I mean, it's whatever.
At least it wasn't a weekend of filming.
He agreed to it before he started filming Spider-Man No Way Home. So like I could believe that he was just burnt out by Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that wouldn't have come up by the time they were done with the post-production on No Way Home is what I mean.
Oh, sure.
Why is it coming up now? But give it to Peyton Reed.
Honestly,
I agree.
I didn't hate, because I like the Spider-Man movies. I didn't hate his choice, but like I would like someone with fresher eyes on it than the guy who made another movie in the universe.
Right.
Also, like Peyton Reed, I also like Peyton Reed. Like he was like he's the dude for it, but I also would like a different voice.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know how much I believe some of the rumors. So, there's the rumor right now that like Spider-Man 4 is expected to start soon. I don't think if it's happening, it's not with John Watts.
Yeah. I think John Watts is
Especially
done with Spider-Man one way or another.
If he just said in an interview like I'm done with superhero movies, I don't think he's coming back for a superhero movie, no matter what it is.
I think whoever put that rumor was either trying to get clickbaits or it was Sony actively trying to be like, we're okay though. Don't worry about us.
Yeah.
Sam Raimi for Spider-Man 4. All right. Okay. Sparks, the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
Legends of Tomorrow and Batwoman have been canceled.
Cleaning house in the CW.
A lot of people have pointed out that it's really shitty that the two main CW superhero shows where lead actors are queer characters were the ones that got the axe without follow-up. I could definitely acknowledge that I'm sure they don't pull in the audience that The Flash does, or Superman and Lois. But to me, for the way that the CW has run the Arrowverse up to this point, and especially for Legends being as long in the tooth as it was, I don't understand why you don't let it come back for because both of these shows are already on half seasons. They have been since 2 years ago. Well, Legends the whole time honestly has been half seasons, but Batwoman went to half seasons with season 2, and so I don't get how you don't give it closure on these. Is a little, I don't know. I guess
especially
there's a lack of
with what you said about Legends of Tomorrow, where it ended in the last season. Give it at least a mini series to wrap it up.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, especially Legends. I feel like Legends, like you give them 5 episodes, that's like a miniseries conclusion. Like they run with it,
Yeah.
which maybe could happen. Who
But
knows?
as-
Maybe the writers' room will be able to lobby for it and get a 5-episode wrap up at some
Yeah.
point, or Berlanti will. Who knows?
But as Ryan said, they are definitely at this point cleaning house. I don't think Flash goes past this next season.
So
No, I was gonna say Flash has definitely got its writing on the wall.
So they have 2 shows in development right now: Gotham Knights and Justice U.
Yes, that's right.
Do both of those shows come out and they're not tied to the universe and they're just its own thing?
I think Justice U doesn't come out, but I do think Gotham Knights does because that was never connected.
Yeah, because
Right,
I'm thinking
Gotham Knights was never connected. Justice U, I think, doesn't get made at this point.
I was gonna say I wonder if it's a situation almost like MODOK, where like it's too far in production, like they get like 1 season out then cancel it, and it's like it's just self-contained, or they just cancel it. It seems like Warner Brothers and Discovery are just like, let's just cut this shit. Let's just cut it out.
As far as I know, like Justice U didn't get a series pickup, right? They just said they were shooting a pilot.
They're just it's
shooting
a
a pilot.
Yeah, so I'm sure they'll finish up on the pilot because they have made the investment into making the pilot, but they're going to pass on it. If they cancel Legends, they're going to pass on that show for sure.
And then after Flash is gone, that would just leave Superman and Lois, right?
Right, and Superman and Lois has been running existing in the Arrowverse, but without like frequently acknowledging its presence. There are characters that cross over, but like it's not wholly important.
Yeah.
I suspect that they just leave it at. This could be like long term. What we might see is like every couple of years you get like a big kind of crossover event, and they get the gangs back together of some of these shows, and they do some kind of story, and everybody just has a good time. And maybe there you get some of the wrap up, like we get some Booster Gold, Legends, and Superman and Lois and Black Lightning event or something.
Yeah.
That's like 5 episodes, and you come and you watch it. Who knows? There's still avenues, I think, where you get to see the follow-up of it, but it's certainly like a big bummer to have gotten to the end of one of the best seasons of Legends with such a diverse cast and the introduction of Booster Gold, which was done really, really well, and be left on the cliffhanger they left you on, which is essentially that Booster Gold got them all arrested by future police.
It's pretty good.
So it's a bummer.
Do you think that Flash isn't? We pretty much believe that Flash is not coming back after season 9, right? That's the next one.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Do we think that Superman and Lois is also canceled the same year?
No, I think as long as Superman and Lois continues to pull an audience, it pulls in. Superman and Lois probably runs up to 5 or so, depending on if the audience is still showing up, because people are still jazzed and talking about this season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see, again, Superman and Lois was able to speak to a tone that, even though it's set in the Arrowverse, it's not defined by needing to watch the other shows, which I think everybody else kind of lumped, even though I would say the same is true of Batwoman, that you don't need to watch any of the other shows to watch Batwoman. I think in people's minds it felt that way.
Sure.
Even if it wasn't true. Big bummer for Javicia Leslie and the cast. I thought they did a great job ultimately reinventing Batwoman after Ruby Rose had to leave and they had to create a new character. I think it's a shame for that character to not get a send-off. I think that's a big bummer.
Yeah. Well, see you, Livy.
Hey, go watch Legends, guys. It's not going to change anything, but like, it's worth it.
All right, so some good news now.
Oh.
Squirrel Girl, interestingly enough, I want to put this one on here specifically because of the casting. Squirrel Girl, the unbeatable radio show, is coming. It is going to be a 6-part audio drama from Ryan North that is going to continue his 4-year-long run on the character. He wrote Squirrel Girl for 4 years. Milana Vaintrub, I believe is how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
She's going to star as Squirrel Girl. Now she's the girl who was going to be Squirrel Girl in the new Warriors pilot that was filmed and never picked up.
Right.
Yeah, there's a pilot you guys can watch if you can find it.
I think this is really cool that she gets to play the character.
I thought, I always thought she was a really good choice. And Squirrel Girl is a really fun character, so like, The fact that like it's always fun when they get to continue like the journey. Like Matt Ryan, it's like, oh, I'm still Constantine, even though that show got canceled a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that it was always a bummer that the New Warriors show never came out. I just wanted to see that pilot.
Not if it was bad though.
We're true, but like from what everyone said about like what they wanted to do about it, it just kind of feels like one of those sad moments that just never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. The After Party season 2 has announced its full cast.
Wow.
Sam Richardson, Zoe Chow, and of course we knew Tiffany Haddish are all returning.
Yes, bringing back exactly who I thought.
Yeah, me too. I'm happy to see that. And then Zach Woods, Elizabeth Perkins, Poppy Liu, Paul Walter Hauser, Anna Conkle, Jack Whitehall, and Vivian Wu have joined the cast.
I recognize like half those people. All right.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'll watch that show eventually.
Speaking of a show you're going to watch eventually is Dune: The Sisterhood.
True.
Because they have
still happening.
It's still happening. And
Thank God.
I put this one on here specifically because, like, hey guys, Dune: The Sisterhood's got a director, Johan Renck, who directed Chernobyl.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's heavy.
And he's going to direct that based off a script from Diane Ademu John, who was one of the main producers on Haunting of Bly Manor.
Good show.
Dang.
Good character work on that show. Okay. All right.
Cool.
I'm so glad this is still happening. It's on Apple?
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
Of course it'd be HBO, yeah.
Yeah, I was really happy that that's still going because, like, after the movie came out, we didn't really hear about this for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
I straight up just thought they were going to quietly just like, don't worry about it. We're just going to make the sequel. That's all. So,
yeah.
This is great.
And then Ballerina, the John Wick spinoff, has cast Ana de Armas in the lead.
She rules. She can finally make up for the lack of her presence in No Time to Die. Because she's so good in that movie and only in there for 5 minutes. She rules.
Sure.
I love her. Like I want her. Like she is a superstar. I want to see her in everything. I think she's great.
Me too.
Yeah.
Len Weissman is directing this from a script by Shay Hatton.
Ooh, he directed the Underworld movies and more previous stuff, but that's what I remember him as.
Honestly, me too.
Underworld man.
Lots of delays happened this week.
Oh yeah, they did.
The Marvels and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania switched.
Ooh, it looks like King went forward in time.
So this is the Marvel's second delay.
Is it? It is. Yes.
Because it was originally coming out this year.
Yeah. The Marvels went from February 17th, 2023 to July 28th, 2023, which was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania's release date, and now that is coming out February 17th, 2023.
Iron Man.
Weird.
I wonder if it's just like Marvel's isn't done, or they want to do like King stuff early. I wonder, like.
I think it's because Ant-Man is just closer to the finish line.
Yeah. Less. Well, I was gonna say less special effects, but it's quantum stuff.
Yeah, it's just like a different. I think Peyton Reed was just kind of like on lock, and Nia DaCosta for this type of movie does have a bit of a learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, kind of pushing it a bit kind of makes me happy for her because like she gets more time to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not against it. I lament that they clearly wanted to go for paying off Miss Marvel quickly because it was originally supposed to come out just a few months after her show ended, and that's just not going to happen. That's a bummer. That's a bummer that's what they were going for, and that can't happen.
Yeah, I mean,
because that would have been a good feeling. It would have been a good feeling to have watched her show and then like a month later go watch her in the movie.
Yeah. There was the first ever announcement for Marvel Phase 4 had WandaVision coming out, ending a week after Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Well, sure, yeah.
That's so crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Things change.
And the pandemic changed that because WandaVision ended up being the easiest to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shazam! Fury of the Gods has blinked. It was initially coming out the same day as Avatar, but now it will come out December 21st, 2022.
All right, cool. Numbers packed.
Did you see his tweet?
Yes. All right, Avatar. We'll give you the space.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Jim.
You're welcome, Jim.
Very good.
Need help.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse was moved from this year, October 7th, 2022, to June 2nd, 2023.
Yeah.
Which also pushed what we now know to be Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is the third film.
Mhm.
We initially just heard it as part 2. Had an unspecified date in 2023, but is now coming out hard date March 29th, 2024. 2024.
So far away.
Right?
I have no problem with this. It's an animated film.
Yeah.
That can only be a good thing.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
It's a long wait.
I know that it was kind of like I was like, man, I gotta wait longer, but like it's gonna be good.
Make it look so good.
They talked about it at CinemaCon with all these there's all these characters that we have to like differentiate and animate, and it's like, man, you know what? Take your time, make this look good.
It was always surprising to me that, considering what an undertaking animation wise those films are, that they were doing them back to back. So the fact that it's being pushed a little further is not shocking to me, and I'm fine with it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was pushed from September 23rd, 2022 to December 21st, 2022. Next to Shazam.
Oh, sorry, Puss.
Sorry, Puss.
Man, there's a lot of
Or
delays.
you know what? Puss in Boots might get it.
You
It's a
think so?
kids' film. It's a kids' animated film. It
Damn.
might.
Sorry,
Um,
Antonio.
Right. And then Mario. The Illuminations Mario film has been pushed from December 21st, 2022 to April 7th, 2023. That movie was coming out this year.
Why
Yeah,
isn't
it
it on
was.
Mario Day? Why aren't they releasing it on March 10th on Mario Day?
No.
I don't know. If
It's important. It's important in the context of a lot of these delays, especially the anime ones, to remember that we're still living with like the pandemic pushes on scheduling affecting
Mhm.
things, and like I'm not shocked, especially with the animation ones, where they go, what we estimate we would be capable of doing has become too hard with, and I'm glad they're not making the animators crunch.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I think in general with animated films, it's the same rule as it is with video games. Delays are always good.
Agreed.
It's true.
Yeah, Miyamoto took over the Nintendo Twitter, and obviously it was translated. And he said that, hey, I'm talking to Chris, not Chris Pratt, but Chris, like the head of the Illumination department. And he was like, hey, we need to push this back and make it better. And then people, of course, were rephrasing his famous quote of a delayed game can eventually be good, but a rush game will always be bad. So they're like, a delayed movie has the potential to be good, but a rush movie will always be bad.
The Twitter thing was funny because it's Miyamoto. It's just like, it's Miyamoto. The movie's getting delayed. I talked to Chris about it. Sorry. It's like, thanks for stealing. Like, it's funny. All right.
Well, do we think this movie's gonna be good?
Mario?
No.
All right.
No.
That's all we needed. That's all I
I
needed
think-
to know.
I think Miyamoto saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and went, oh no.
Oh, no.
It's gonna happen again.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, sorry, Mario.
It's okay.
CinemaCon. Sorry, not Comic-Con. CinemaCon. There's not a whole lot that came out from CinemaCon, so we're just gonna kind of like I don't think we'll take too long on this part. Michael Chavez was announced to be directing The Nun 2.
He's the guy who did.
Conjuring 3.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, no.
James, we need you. Come back.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a. I tweeted this because like we haven't heard anything about the Nun 2 for a while, but like
I have to say directing was not the main issue I had with Conjuring 3. It was the script, but that doesn't necessarily mean this is good.
no, it does not inspire confidence. Like the first Nun's not great. Not good. I just think it's a lot of fun. This is not. I don't know if I'm even interested in another Conjuring film if he's at the helm of this.
Right.
I dislike both of his Curse of La Llorona and Conjuring 3.
Yeah, he did the La Llorona too, and that's also.
I
bad,
forgot.
so-
I forgot he did La Llorona. Never mind.
He's like the new guy, and I don't know if I'm interested in this new guy.
Quite honestly, I think he killed the franchise. Like
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Conjuring 3 came out like a dead weight.
It's
and it
true.
just nobody gave a shit anymore.
Yeah, that is true. Like I think
Yeah.
I liked it, but even then, yeah.
I haven't even seen La Llorona, and Conjuring 3 wasn't good. I mean, we talked about it, so
yeah. So I do think that like I just don't think the franchise is there anymore. Like the hype, people were really into it, and then Conjuring 3 just like destroyed the hype. There was just no interest and no hype, no discussions about the Conjuring franchise anymore.
Yeah. James, come back.
Jimmy, come back.
Jimmy, come back.
Okay. Sony announced their latest Spider-Man spin-off villain-centered movie.
The Spunk.
El Muerto.
Oh, right.
It's going to be the next after Venom. No, after Kraven the Hunter will be El Muerto.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Spider-Man villain spin-off from Sony, starring Bad Bunny, who I can only assume is a rapper.
He's a Latino musician. He's also, so the thing is, he is showing up in Bullet Train. He's in the trailer for Bullet Train. He's fighting Brad Pitt at one point. He's really talented. He's really charismatic. So him becoming like a star makes sense. Him being the villain of a 2-issue Spider-Man villain, no one really cares about. That's where the issue is.
So this film is slated to come out on January 12th, 2024. And as Ryan said, this is a character that's only shown up in 2 comic books ever.
So this is the part where every character matters. I think every character, like I am at the end of the day, I'm fine with a Morbius movie, just make it good. I'm fine with a Kraven movie, just make it good. El Muerto is one of those characters where like, I don't know why they picked this character. He doesn't have enough to him. And maybe that's why they wanted to do it. But also, there are so many other characters you could choose. So it's just really weird. He's a wrestler. Maybe they want to tie it into Spider-Man's origin. I think that's also a stupid thing to do. So
well, I think they saw Blue Beetle and they were like, "Oh, we got one."
But he's nothing like Blue Beetle. He's a wrestler.
No, because he's Latino.
Oh, because he's Latino. Y'all, there's other. You got Miles just waiting there. You can just what's going on? What's going on here? Okay. This is the one that really I was like, okay, this now you guys have lost it. Y'all have lost it.
I genuinely think that they're not pulling the trigger on a Miles movie because they don't have confidence in themselves. And they know if they shit the bed on it, they're dead.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Look, I'll be honest. I'm out. I don't think I'm seeing another one of these Sony Spider-Man movies.
I'll see it. Because Venom 2 was great. So like I'm not. It's just like this one. Yeah. It's like you guys are really. What's
specifically
the pitch for this one?
Specifically because this is going to be set in the Venomverse, whatever. It is purely the bullshit they pulled with the Morbius post-credit scene where I'm just I can't sanction any decision you ever make ever again because this was so bad.
Any of this buffoonery, yeah.
Like you have ruined this.
Yeah, it's definitely Morbius is a snag after what Venom 2 they were able to do. So I'm hoping. I've seen some pictures of Kraven. Aaron Taylor Johnson is looking pretty good. He's looking pretty jacked. El Muerto, what's going on? I'll watch a Silver Sable movie give me like that character is cool. I just don't know why they chose this character. It's so odd. It is truly odd.
Yeah.
Weird.
Anything else?
I absolutely hate this. I'm not gonna see it. I'm the only one of us who went and suffered through Morbius.
I know.
You did.
It's true.
After that absolute dumpster fire of a movie and that goddamn scene at the end of it,
Michael
where we had a really cool villain with the Vulture, now in a new thing. It's like, I think it had something to do with Spider-Man, and then they're trying to do this. I hate every single word, Brandon.
There's a YouTuber called Nando V Movies. And he released a 15-minute video called How the Sinister Six Can Work in Sony's Universe. It's a really good video, and I was like against even watching it because like I'm not interested. He makes a really good case how they can turn it into something really cool, and they're reused the name Sinister Six instead of them being villains. They're kind of like it's Jameson basically like saying like they're the Sinister Six, they're evil when they're all actually not evil, and it's like the city's out to get them. It's a really great video. It made me believe in the future that they're definitely not going to do.
Okay. If more like Ryan, you said every character matters. I 100% agree with that. If you can make any movie, any movie can be good. Kraven could be good. Venom 2 really changed my mind on how I view those Venom films. I mean, the first one still isn't really good, but the first one wasn't really good. The second one was great. I really had a great time with the second one. Morbius left a bad taste in my mouth, and after that movie, I'm like, Sony, stop. Just stop. Unless Marvel... Unless Marvel is directly involved with them, not in association, MCU shit, I'm done. I'm out.
All right, Mr. Shill.
I'm out.
I'll give everything a chance. You show me a good trailer, I'll watch it.
Sorry, my partner walked in.
You're fine. I got cats yipping everywhere behind me.
Yeah. Okay. The Batman 2 was announced.
Cool.
Okay.
Figured that was happening. A sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife was announced.
I'm all right.
And Venom 3 was announced.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it still Andy Serkis?
I don't know. They didn't say.
I hope it is. He's what helped that movie, I think.
He did.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, maybe I'll see Venom 3, but I just don't care about whatever overarching story that I could accidentally watch.
Well,
Sure.
like, here's the thing is, like, if like El Muerto was announced as like a Disney Plus MCU show, sure, I'd have questions, but I'd have faith because of that. I not just because like I'm invested in the MCU, but because like I'd want to give it a chance, because usually there's some merit to why they do what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And Sony has consistently proven, both with pre everything they did with Venom and then going after with this universe thing, that they just don't have that grasp on what they're doing with these characters. Like, it's just here's end of the day, like, what it is for me is that it's so, I have yet to see one where I feel like it's driven by actual passion for the characters. I enjoy Venom 2, but that's not what I would call that.
Mm-hmm.
On the part of like the people who creating it who aren't Tom Hardy, I'll say that. But like it's all done to continue to maintain copyrights, and that's what it feels like.
Oh yeah.
And as long as it continues to feel that way, that's what makes me not. It's all such shallow interest. It's not trying to actually explore anything about these characters or tell a story or truly make me feel something. It always sounds like or feels like. Except again, I will give Venom Let There Be Carnage the credit of like it became entertaining, but it's still not doing that right. It's
shallow fun.
Yeah. And that's the thing that like until there's the Sony project that comes out that does that, I'm not going to have faith that they get it, that they're getting the people who get it, who give a shit.
The quote that I always kind of go back to about the Mummy, the Tom Cruise Mummy, was that everyone who goes to see a movie knows that movies are made for money. Nobody likes to feel like they're made for money, though.
Yeah,
and that's what this is.
You're exactly correct.
And I kind of I felt the same way about the Mummy, right? Like I wouldn't continue with the Dark Universe because of a similar thing. But then the Invisible Man came out, so titles were revealed. One of them being Avatar 2. Well, actually, just Avatar: The Way of the Water.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, some footage was shown, and so those pictures that we've seen are pretty great.
I've seen the trailer.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah. It looks really good.
I'm honestly excited.
The CGI looks stupid good. Like, holy shit! What the? Come on, y'all! What?
I just never write off James Cameron.
Never.
No. You know, for a while I almost was like, yeah, this movie's never coming out. This guy is just gonna sit with with those billions of dollars he probably earned with Avatar. And then it's like, I mean, I haven't seen any of the photos, but I trust what Ryan is saying about how good it looks. I'm like, oh man, this thing is gonna.
I mean, Avatar still holds up. Like,
yeah, the thing is, like, at the very least, the movie was going to look very pretty.
Exactly.
But like, I always. James Cameron is like he's the guy who does this for the love of the craft. The dude's honestly a genius. Like he really is. He really loves this stuff, and so like he was always going to get these movies off the ground, whether we liked it or not. And like I've kind of felt like going into 2, I'm like, this could be great. Like honestly,
Avatar 2 has always had the best chance with me because it's James Cameron combining his two great passions, which is film and the deep
water.
Sea, because he's deeply obsessed with the deep ocean. So that, and we know that's a strong element of this next one. So yeah, I have high hope.
The man has built new technologies again. He keeps doing this. He keeps building new technology for his movies, and he did it for Avatar, and he's doing it again for Avatar 2.
That's what's most exciting about it. Is like
how many thousand meters did he dive down into the Pacific Ocean just so he can go super deep? Just because he wants to.
The Titanic, like part of the funding for Titanic 2 was that he was able to create new technology to help people deep sea dive better and take photos of that. He was almost primarily responsible for getting like the best pictures for the Titanic ever.
Yeah, he's not just like he's like a futurist for film. He's always trying to push the envelope. And there's some people who don't want to do that. They're happy with what they got, and he's always like, I want to try to take it the next step in every movie I do, whether it takes 15 years to make it. If it takes that long, until I never heard him say all right, I'm canceling Avatar, so I knew it would come out. Would I be 50 when the next one comes out? Maybe. It turns out I'm going to be 30. Way different than I expected.
The thing that I always kind of really loved about it is that right now we're in the kind of a sweet spot. If the trailer comes out and it's going to be like the long-awaited sequel to the highest-grossing film of all time, you're going to build some hype.
Yeah. No, there's definitely Avatar has no cultural zeitgeist, right?
Yeah.
But the second regular people see that trailer, they'll go, "Oh, that movie was awesome when I saw it 10 years ago," right? Yeah. This movie's going to make a lot of money, and I was never in the doubt that will it be the highest-grossing movie ever made? I don't think so. I don't think so.
I hope, honestly, because he hasn't started filming 3 yet, apparently. Not 3, 4, which I just found out. 4 and 5 have not started filming it because they're waiting to see how good 2 and 3 do. And I'm like, don't wait too long, because I think we're in for 4 awesome movies. Quite honestly,
it's impressive because again, the last time somebody really did this and it worked out was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, no, for real.
And when you do plan it out that way, man, you can make something real special.
Okay. Mission Impossible 8? Yes. No. 8. 7.
Yeah.
7.
And
7 and 8. Mission Impossible 7 and 8. By the way, did you guys hear how Tom Cruise announced this?
I think
so. He was flying a biplane upside down. He was on a biplane upside down and announcing the sequel, the titles to Mission Impossible 7 and 8. And I'm like, dude, well, of course you did. Dead Reckoning Part 1 and 2.
Dead Reckoning is a very spy type name. I like it.
Yeah. I'm really excited for these movies. I can't wait.
I got some movies I need to watch.
Have you not seen any of them?
Guys, we've done this. We've done this with Ben.
There's a lot of things we do.
No, I know. Ben has not watched these movies.
I've only seen 2 and 3.
Oh, right. You've seen one of the bad ones. Okay.
Yes.
One of the good ones.
And yeah. Oh man, you're gonna have fun with those, man. Those are good movies. Oh yeah.
And then A Quiet Place, the prequel movie for A Quiet Place, has been titled A Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah. Okay.
And now officially clarified as a prequel too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I wanted that. I wanted to see that day. Maybe from some different perspectives, but
yeah.
I don't remember. Is this with John Krasinski?
No.
Okay.
He's still doing Quiet Place Part 3. This is the other guy. We've talked about it. I just don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah. I gotcha. Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about Netflix, guys.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
So Netflix is looking to lose 2 million subscribers this year. For Netflix, that's pretty big, but considering how many subscribers Netflix has, it's
218 million or something.
Yeah.
It's important to acknowledge this real quick because this is all just 200,000 people unsubscribed in Q1 of this year.
Yeah.
And so the people who do the calculations and the projections at Netflix's company at their big quest, they came up with this number. This does not mean 2 million will absolutely be unsubscribing. It could be more. It could be less.
Yeah.
It's just them in their panic mode right now.
But so it looks like in response to this, Tadum, which is actually a service I'm not familiar with. What was that?
I don't know either. I thought it was their I don't know.
Tadum was a news access source,
Oh, I see.
like Vice for Netflix specifically. So it would have like people doing journalistic write-ups about the material on Netflix and engaging with the people creating it.
Okay.
So the thing that's so shitty about it is that they recruited all of these people, a lot of them women and a lot of them women of color, to be able to talk about all the diversity that's on Netflix through these articles, through like real journalistic, like they wanted it to be this whole thing. But the problem is, just as you said, this launched December last year and none of us had heard of it. And so like all these pieces were being written, but people weren't reading them. And they'd courted all these people with promises of, like a lot of money and an illustrious career away from good journalism jobs.
Yeah, there was a lot of people who talked about how. Anyway, they laid off the entire company. It's the news. The entire Tadum crew has been completely laid off. They took a bunch of people from like very good like insured gigs that they've been doing for years. Like they poached a lot of people from like more stable stuff with the promise of stability and more money. And 6 months later, all gone.
So I'm on it now. It's basically like it's like an IGN, like a GameSpot, it's news and like and entertainment stuff. So like, man, it didn't even last like in December. Like Jesus Christ,
they didn't even like make people aware of it. Not even close to enough. It's really awful the way that they poach these people away from wonderful jobs.
Yeah,
and what I don't understand is like. Netflix has so many properties. Like they obviously they put out a lot of really good stuff, but they also just put out way too much stuff. Like, why don't they just scale down? There's no way people are watching all this stuff, right? There's no way.
I did a bit of research for my Babysitters Club piece, a little bit about this, and like apparently what had happened was the CEO of Showrunner was like, we want to make everyone's favorite show. Mm-hmm. Which was back then when they first started. It was just kind of like, we're going to put out a show. We're going to make a show that someone is passionate about and they want to make, and we're going to put it out, and we're going to give it like a couple of months to find its audience, and it will find its audience. Yeah. Everything we make will find its audience. And then it became, that we're going to put this on Friday, and if people don't watch it by Sunday, we're canceling it.
You can't. Yeah, it's awful. That's awful.
So the other thing is, you talked about how none of us knew about it. It's part of that, I think, has to do with what we're going to talk about next, was the animation side of things. Netflix's marketing is shit. It's just shit. They made their animated writers to market their own stuff. There was no dedicated marketing team for these properties. The writers had to be like, hey, by the way, my thing comes out next week or next month or whatever.
I do agree. Like, I think the marketing is a problem. I just want to highlight that I think one of the key issues is that Tadum was not something directly linked in the app. That like, where are you most likely to actually get people to engage with wanting to read about it? It would be linked to the Netflix project itself, right? So if I pulled open, let's say, Russian Doll, and they had an article or two talking with the main actor or the showrunner, whoever. And it's like, would you like to learn more? And you can kind of swipe through on the Russian Doll page, right? Like, they didn't meet the audience that they were aiming for where they were at initially. The fact that there wasn't even just like a sub piece down on the app that was just Tadum, and you access it and then you get a list of all the latest articles and that kind of thing. That's the part that's really boggling in my mind, that wasn't just built in, because it's like they weren't even trying to speak to the audience they had. Sorry, I just wanted to bring that up, that I thought that it's not just a marketing problem, because marketing journalism doesn't work quite the same.
No, I know, but like there is still no Tadum
I agree.
Twitter account that's being like, hey, this article went up. It is just these people have to be like, hey, I wrote this thing.
Yes, I agree with that as well.
So the other big thing that happened was that Phil Reinda, who is Netflix's director of creative leadership and development for original animation, basically he ran their animation division, specifically their kids animation division. He was laid off completely. Because of that, a lot of other people in Netflix's animation department were laid off, and a lot of shows were prematurely canceled, and a lot of shows are not returning for another season. So specifically, a show that was the Twit, or the Twite, whatever it's called. It's a Roald Dahl animated property, but because of the deal with Roald Dahl, that'll become an animated film, so it's not going to be a show anymore. And then the big one was Bone, which is finally getting an animated adaptation from Netflix, is no longer happening. You're still muted, Ryan.
Poor Jeff Smith.
Yeah.
He made a Bone comic that he posted on Twitter, and it's like talking to Nickelodeon. Yeah, we'll make a show with you. Kicks him out the door, and he's like, Cartoon Network. Yeah, we'll make a show with you. Kicks him out the door. Netflix. We promise we won't kick you out the door. Kicks him out the door. And he's like, I guess I'm never getting made. I'm like, that's so sad.
So many animated projects. Netflix wants to go in a different direction with their animation. Now, again, I talked a little bit about this before at the top of the episode, this episode, but like, there's not a lot of stuff right now for middle-aged people, for middle-aged kids, like in that kind of like not quite the preteen years. There's nothing for them. There's not really a lot for them, and that's kind of the animation that we're losing, is the kind of that world.
Yes, I agree. I really like you coming up with the term middle-aged kids, because you could not find the word preteen.
I was like, for like 40-year-olds, like what's going on?
Yeah, especially because he had the pause because he knew he was wrong, and he was like, for middle-aged kids.
I mean, the Dragon Prince. I'm just glad that season 4 is confirmed, and I'm still waiting to see
there wasn't because of this. I also looked up Dragon Prince because I was like, no, it's no way. They are very far into production of the 4th season. I don't think it's coming back after that, though.
Probably not. Actually, I still need to get that comic book, but that's besides the point.
So here's the kind of the end of this news. And again, like, goes back to the frustration. Like, a lot of people were frustrated because like Netflix wouldn't market animation a lot of the time, and so like like animated showrunners had to be like, hey, my show comes out next month, go watch it. And that's horrible. That's have a dedicated marketing report. But the thing that killed me was that they said that a licensed TV show that they license out, which is The Boss Baby, is seen as the pinnacle of how animation should perform on Netflix.
I'm out.
Which means The Boss Baby does very well on Netflix for some reason.
I hate that.
They put it on for babies.
True.
Well, it's not even. But that. Yeah, no. I understand, but that's not your property. You buy that from someone else.
But if that type of material makes the most like makes like the most like streams or whatever, then they're like, okay, we need more shitty, less developed, less costly stuff.
But that raises a point of like, is Netflix going to learn that maybe it's better off just being a distributor rather than a producer?
Yeah.
It's a waste.
I mean, like, think about some of like its top content that it is a Netflix original, but like they're just putting it out there. They didn't make Arcane,
Yeah.
That's not a Netflix made show. It's just airs on Netflix.
They bought
but
it,
Arcane is one of the best animated shows in the world.
Yeah.
Like there's a ton of Netflix properties that are like that, and maybe that's where their wheelhouse should be. Is just like, hey, becoming like the streaming service version of A24.
Yeah,
sure.
This is shitty news one way or another. I'm just trying to say, like, this problem with the model is a problem with the thinking of how viewers operate that Netflix has always had, because the binge model has always been the wrong way to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
The bubble is bursting for Netflix.
Yeah, it sucks. There's a lot of people who lost their jobs. A lot of really cool shows that just not going to see the light of day.
I was going to argue the animation side of Netflix is some of their best stuff, and some of the shows that they have. I mean, of course, then Sparks is right. Netflix didn't make a lot of it. Like Voltron, DreamWorks made that, right? DreamWorks made Voltron, Brandon.
Yeah, it's much in the same way that like ABC or Marvel Entertainment made Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
Studio Mirror made Castlevania. Wait, was it Studio Mirror? No.
Well, so that's not a Studio Mirror isn't a distributor or a network.
Netflix made that show.
Netflix made that show.
They sourced the animation to a different studio, but like that's how all animation works.
Yeah, Studio Mirror. Also, I don't think Studio Mirror didn't do Castlevania. Yeah. They did. Powerhouse Animation did Castlevania.
Okay.
Yeah, what the difference has been is where they're buying a show and where they're funding a show, and most of their most successful ones, I'm being generalizing and exaggeratory, but a lot of their big successful things, whether it's live action or animation, but certainly with animation, are ones that they bought, not ones that they funded.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, I hope it works out. I hope we still get some good animation stuff from them. It sucks that so many people lost their job.
Yeah.
Frank Miller and Dan Didio were in the news. Dan Didio and Frank Miller have partnered and are going to launch their own publishing company, which is going to be called Frank Miller Presents. Now, Frank Miller Presents will put out 2 to 4 books a year, which will mostly be Frank Miller comic books. Two that were announced were Ronin Book 2, which is a 6-issue sequel to his 1983 book, Ronin.
40 years later.
And Sin City 1858, which will be a Western set in the Sin City world.
That sounds pretty cool, but not with modern Miller, unfortunately.
It's going to produce 2 to 4 titles a year. So there will be new titles. There are new titles slated, but there's no like creative teams or announcements or anything like that. So, can Frank Miller not get published anymore?
No, I think he can. I think he just Dan DiDio. No, I think it's more a Dan DiDio thing more than.
Oh, right.
Thing.
He wants to come back to the comic book game.
Yeah. Frank Miller is old as hell. He made some of the most influential and some of the dopest comics in the 80s. Like his Daredevil run is insane. His Batman stuff's insane. Like Ronin is a masterpiece. He's gotten older and his sensibilities have gotten worse, and he's a little more conservative. And he's just not as the talent as it is there. He did Dark Knights 3, The Master Race. That book's not very good. Dan DiDio is a guy I don't personally love, so there's nothing here for me whatsoever, I guess.
Yeah, it's interesting that he's writing these solo because like Brian Azzarello also did Dark Knights 3. Like he helped kind of Frank Miller plot that.
True. You're true. That's true.
So it's interesting that Frank Miller's like, no, these are I'm writing these.
Maybe it's a thing where like nobody else will let him write alone, so he has to do this.
Oh, maybe.
Probably.
Like Frank, you can't. I'm sorry.
And it is a thing where like I'm gonna do my own stuff. Let's go back to the 2 things that I've done, and I'm like, oh man, Ronin never got a sequel. That right. Now there's going to be a sequel that's absolutely not going to be as good as that book, and it's in just a little way going to diminish that Ronin is its own secure little thing. And I'm like, well, that's a bummer, and I'm never going to read Ronin 2 because I got Ronin.
It's about time for the comic community to just maybe admit Frank Miller doesn't have it anymore.
Hey man, people age out of talent sometimes. It happens.
All right. And then I thought this was really cool. So Lucasfilm Games has partnered with Amy Hennig and her Skydance studio, her Skydance Entertainment studio. So she's going to be working on a Star Wars cinematic game. This is her second time working on a Star Wars project because she did Project Ragtag. She was working on that in 2017 before they canceled that.
That was a third-person action adventure game, different to 1313, but in a similar like third-person cover shooter story thing.
Yeah,
right.
She worked on the Uncharted games. She's a story lead for the Uncharted games, and then she hasn't made a game since because she's been trying to make a Star Wars game for like 10 years.
Well, she was kicked off of 4. She was fired from 4 because she didn't do Uncharted 4.
Yep.
And then she's just been trying to do a Star Wars game.
It's really unfortunate. I really hope this one pulls through.
Me too.
Yeah.
I really like the Uncharted games. I really hope that she does it.
Yeah, she's got those Uncharted games are great, and she is like the cinematic like visionary like behind like Neil Druckmann and the other guy who wrote them, who did 4, are also really good. But like she's the reason those games are the way they are initially. And she needs to get back to making games. It's been like a long time.
Ben, can you pull up Grayson's comment before we continue?
Yep. Fallen Order 2, he thinks he saw that somewhere.
That is absolutely getting announced. They're working on it. They announced they're working on it, but we're going to get a trailer.
Amy Hennig is not working on Fallen Order 2, is what he's asking.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Amy Hennig is working on a different thing. She's not working with EA. EA is working on Fallen Order 2.
Yeah.
But yes, that game is coming. It's happening.
Yeah.
Definitely expect a trailer. People are suspecting like E3 time in the summer.
Yeah. I would imagine so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm really excited. I love those games. Excited for her to do this.
I want more good Star Wars games.
Yeah. Trailers.
We're in the trailer park, boys. Lots of trailers.
The Bubble. No, Bubble.
Bubble.
James Gunn's
Bubble.
sequel, The Bubble.
Can
This
you-
looks like a good anime.
We don't have to read the synopsis, but I hope you all did because I wanted you guys to have context for watching the trailer.
It's like they're in like a water bubble world.
Yeah, so I thought I gotta pull it up myself real quick, just to remember the detail. But I really like it. More than anything, I trust this studio. I trust this animation. They tend to kind of knock it out of the park. And this one came across. I am the one that added this, and I just thought that this looked like one to maybe keep an eye on.
Oh, yeah,
Visually, it's stunning. Absolutely.
Yeah, this anime looks absolutely gorgeous.
The animation
Okay,
reminds
so-
me of the Evangelion rebuild movies.
There's two facts about it. The strange powers that are connected to bubbles is interesting, but the part of the synopsis that really gets me is the pair are brought together by a mysterious sound that no one else can hear. And I'm intrigued. I just think it looks really cool, and I like the synopsis. I think this just was something cool to make sure that we keep an eye out for.
It definitely
Cool-
pops.
cool-
It definitely...
cool original anime films are happening, and it's nice when they do.
Oh, it's a film. It's not a show.
It is a film.
Oh,
film.
I will check it out super faster then. Less of a commitment.
Yeah. Okay. Bodies.
Is this A24?
Yep.
It is A24. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know if I catch it or not, but I felt it.
This is definitely a dark comedy for A24, that's for sure.
I want to see this so bad. Tone is right up my alley of like disgustingly like mean and funny. Like it's always sunny type stuff.
You stabbed me. I can't believe you're making this about you.
Yeah.
That's the line that broke me. I'm like, oh, this looks awesome.
It's like a modern youth version, like a true get to today's youth version of a new Scream.
yeah, I felt Scream.
sure.
It felt like Scream. Yeah.
Yeah, where
the
it's like
cast is
it's
great.
really trying to attack how they interact with each other today.
Very like bitey dialogue.
Yeah.
It seems like the script's gonna be really good. I love that like Pete Davidson's there. He's like, like my look is that I bang. That's my look. I'm a banger. Okay, and I'm like, God, I like him so much. And it's like a murder mystery. Yeah, this looks really fun. Like really good time.
Yeah. I enjoy how Ben was like, this looks like a dark comedy for A24, like they do lighthearted comedy.
Running in sunflowers.
Well, I mean, Marcel the show shoes on it. And that's a whole.
You're right. That's A24. That's A24. You got me. You got me.
We haven't seen it yet, but yeah, when I was watching this trailer, I was like, oh, okay,
Well, that movie's gonna take a dark turn.
Marcel's rated R. Yeah.
we get there, it's like surprise. But yeah, when I was watching this trailer, I was like, oh, there's the A24 I know. But still, I mean, as with other films that A24 puts out, this is definitely more that, I mean, yes, there is the horror elements to it, the mind effery, but at the same time, it's not like psychologically you feel uncomfortable. It's like, this is bad, but at the same time, I'm probably gonna laugh. Like the Pete Davidson thing that Ryan mentioned, I was like, that's actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
or the whole, or like every cut where they're like, "You're so toxic," or they're saying a new like slang for like today's kids are saying. So
the lingo.
Yeah.
I thought I do think this looks very good. I did want to note that I had to double check, but I meant to make a note of it. Bubble is on Netflix now. It came out April 28th. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to highlight it. Is it's I knew it was going to be available when we recorded. So you can go check out Bubble immediately.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Hell Is Us.
Yeah, this looks weird, but cool.
This was just the teaser trailer, right?
Yeah.
It's just a concept trailer, but like I was already into it when it's like the visualization of my moment of vengeance will free me, and then it's an echo and it's like, no, it won't, you're trapped forever. Yeah. And then it just gets wild.
It's a really cool trailer, but like it doesn't tell me what the game is. What no,
not at all. Not at all.
It's a great concept, but like I have to separate it. Like, okay, but it's a game I gotta play.
Yeah, for sure. There's something conceptually that was really speaking to me. This is another one where I wanted to make sure we talked about this trailer because
I will say
there's something about the Junji Ito kind of look of the bodies that are laying around the ground that I'm like,
Yeah,
I am
swirls.
very fascinated in this.
It's definitely doing a mix of like, okay, so it's like modern day, but we got fantasy sword shit going on. So
Right. This is a concept trailer. This is one of those times where like a concept trailer has really grabbed my imagination. Like, I don't know if the game will be good or not, but you certainly have my attention. I want to know what this is going to be.
I sure hope this isn't a thing where we see this and then we don't see it's here for like another 2 years.
I suspect this is out for the same reasons that you were talking about earlier, Ryan. I think we get a bigger preview in E3 time.
Yeah.
I think that's why this came out right now, is to get people like asking questions about it for when it comes.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was like, what the heck am I watching here? And then it pans out. You see the drone. The drone's kind of like, it perches on that person's shoulder. And it's like, okay, there's a sword. I saw some guys with guns. I see these weird robot-looking things with swirls. What am I looking at?
My brain tells me like a third person, like open world game with the drone as like your companion thing.
Yeah.
My brain tells me.
Yeah. Who knows? But you have me intrigued. Teaser trailer.
Yeah,
you have me very intrigued.
We'll probably find out later in June.
Yeah.
Night Sky.
We don't get many shows about older.
You have me intrigued. Teaser trailer. You have me intrigued.
Yeah,
Sissy Spacek, J.K. Simmons.
They got a secret. It's a space secret.
Yeah, they're like shed can like transport them to another planet.
Yeah, they're like secret astronauts, and people are like, "Are you guys secret astronauts? What you got in that shed there?" And then they got maybe an alien little son. Who knows? It looks really charming. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how this looked. I'm curious to how this goes. J.K. Simmons really likes doing these like miniseries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What was this Netflix?
Hulu. Oh,
Amazon.
No, Amazon Prime.
Amazon. Okay. Amazon. Cool. Okay.
All right. Evil Dead: The Final Preview.
Man, so real quick, this game comes out soon, and we have not seen any gameplay for it. So a lot of people were worried this game was going to be real bad. Good news, boys. This game looks awesome.
Yeah,
it looks great. I watched so much gameplay of it. I am so excited for it. We've all played Dead by Daylight. We've all played Left 4 Dead. Or Ben, do you know what Left 4 Dead is?
I know.
It is combining those things together. You play as survivors. You can play as the Demonites,
the Kandarian
Deadites. Yeah, the Kandarian Deadites. But the thing that I just want to play this game solely to be the evil, because when you are the evil, you are the camera from Evil Dead zooming as you do. You can possess people, you can possess items, you can possess cars, trees. You could summon zombies to take them over. You can like become like the evil Ash from Army of Darkness, who's like one of my favorite characters from fiction. It just looks like a great time.
You can set like scare traps.
There are jump scare traps in the game, Ben. So I will throw something down. Oh yeah, you'll walk over and like, how awful is that?
So
that's horrible.
So the concept, and I know like they have different terms for it, but basically the concept for Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood is always that you are playing against the game master that you can't see, and they're throwing different curveballs your way, which is why the replayability is so high, because you can't predict where the things are going to come from or what's going to happen or when you'll be overrun. And this seems to be giving you the power to be the game master and throw people off. And I think that's really, really cool.
Speaking of Back 4 Blood, we need to play that. I haven't popped it into my PS5 yet.
Hot dog.
Ben, you got a hell of a Spooktober ahead of you.
Oh, it's coming. We can start planning early.
Okay. Sonic Origins.
Well, you didn't say anything about it, Brandon. Just like anything like you might play this one?
I didn't have anything to add. I agree with you guys.
Okay, no, I just wanted you to say something. Just like I am buying this game 100%. I want to play it.
I know Brandon likes Dead by Daylight and he likes Evil Dead. So I suspect if we're in on this, Brandon's in on this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like there's the evil Kandarian like demons that from Ash vs. Evil Dead. I really like those designs. I'm glad that they're in games in the game.
Every like all the movies and the show are all represented. And the game visually looks really good too. Like I was surprised. Like this is like a $40 game. So it's like a budget game, but like it's crisp. It's very crisp.
Yeah. Okay. Sonic Origins.
I got feelings.
Oh, Ben, I forgot to tell you. I earlier I texted you or whatever. I played Sonic Heroes 2 or Sonic Heroes. Is that a game, right?
Yeah, that's a game.
I played that one. I played Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic. Green Hill Zone's a really good song.
Yes,
That song is like
great soundtrack to Sonic Heroes.
Yeah, that
great
game.
Soundtrack.
I played it for like an hour. I got to like the third area.
Nice.
I didn't play as Nails or Tails or Knuckles, like, cause like, what's the kind of the point, like, for real? Because like Sonic's the best character, isn't he?
In Sonic Heroes? No,
Yeah.
in Sonic. Wait, hold up. Did you play Sonic Adventure or no? Not Sonic.
Oh, I think I played a mod. I think I played a fan game.
Okay, so Sonic Heroes is the game that immediately followed Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay.
In many ways, a lot of people like it to like a Sonic Adventure 2.5. But the concept of it is that you are Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles all at once.
Yes.
But as you're going through the levels, there are areas where you need to use speed to get through, but there are areas where you need to use Knuckles' ability to smash things to get through, or his power abilities, or you need to use Tails' flying to get through, and you're all linked together, and you have to swap through their abilities to get all three through.
Yeah, each team is 3 characters from the Sonic franchise. Like obviously, Team Sonic is Sonic, Tails, Knuckles. Dark is Shadow, Rouge, and Gamma, and then Rose, Amy, Big, and Cream, so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's Sonic Heroes.
Oh, okay, I did not use them very much. I probably like now that makes sense now. Okay.
Anyways, going back to Sonic Origins, the first 24 hours when this trailer came out, I was really excited because the animation looked gorgeous. The new mode offers you infinite lives, saying you can just keep replaying it no matter how much you die. That sounds great. And then it all came crashing down because Sega decides to say, screw you with a bunch of this bullshit. You guys have seen that chart of what you get when you order or pre-order whatever, like the standard digital or the deluxe digital. That's all confusing as hell.
It's egregious.
It's messed up. And of course, and here's the thing, Nintendo Life also came out with an article saying that Sega knows that there is a demand for physical release. They're just not planning on doing anything about it.
Yeah. Which
to me is egregious. Now with Sonic Mania, that one was essentially that was an indie Sega game. Sega just allowed Christian Whitehead and Hank Cannon to do it. It became so popular that it warranted a physical release, and they decided to throw in a few extra goodies here. And then once again, it sold gangbusters. This one is put out by Sega themselves. No one else is like Sega in-house is making this, so they have the money and the resources to put out a physical release. Thing is, if they're going to do the Sonic Mania track record, they're probably going to wait a year and then put out a physical release. But at the same time, they make it so confusing of what we get. And the extra stuff that they're saying we get is you get animations of the characters in the menu screen. I don't give a shit about animations of characters in the menu screen. I just care if the games are good and you have extra modes that I could play, like hard modes or mission modes or stuff like that. But that might be locked behind DLC. And it's a lot of people on Twitter are putting up their copies of Sonic Mega Collection Plus and Sonic Gems Collection on GameCube saying, boom, I got the Origins. And not only that, Sega's delisting the original games and only the Sega Ages versions are going to be available.
Yeah, I tried to buy because I was at the specific moment in my life, I was like, right now I want to play Sonic, so I'm going to buy a Sonic game on the PlayStation Store. There were no games that are available that weren't Sonic Mania or
Sonic Forces.
And I got that for free on PS Plus, and I wasn't going to play that one because I hear it's bad. So I went to the PC and I just played Sonic Heroes on my PC for free. Thank you, internet. I want to play this legitimately. Like this is the reason. Like this is the one that I wanted to play. So I don't have as many issues with as a collector because I'm just going to buy the game on PlayStation Now or PlayStation Online or whatever for the regular price and just play the game. But I thought this is something that they did like 10 years ago where you go to Best Buy for this thing, you go to Target for this thing, you go to this thing for this thing. And I'm like, just make it easy for people to buy the game, guys. Like, why are we doing this still?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Like, because they're also adding like music tracks as DLC, which I think is also very egregious. Mm-hmm. And I saw a great tweet, and this is actually going to be this was the catalyst for a OSG article I'm drafting up right now on how for these retro collections. I mean, obviously, Sonic the Hedgehog, it's one of the most popular video game franchises of all time. You can go to Frank & Sons, you can go to so many used game stores, you can buy the original cartridge or even the compilations that have come out over the years for not as expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And here we are putting one on modern consoles, which I think is good, but just throw everything that you have make it a decent collection that warrants a $40 price tag. The only reason why I was looking forward to buy this in the first place is so I could play Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles, which hasn't been around for a little while in certain compilations, like the recent Genesis title or the recent Genesis compilations for, like, say, the Mini and even the Switch. They only go up to Sonic 2. And, of course, my personal favorite game of all time, Sonic CD, which I thankfully have on my cell phone. But, Kitty in the Galaxy, that's cute.
It's a space cat. I got a space cat. Sorry.
Yeah.
I just realized how far away your green screen is because of that. I was like,
bro, I'm in space.
Man.
Yeah. What was I talking about?
Sonic. Because
stuff there have been past compilations which have amazing extras, like the complete, up to that point in time, the complete cover gallery of all the Sonic the Hedgehog comics, sketches, music sampling, the whole 9 yards at no extra cost. And it's like, here's this amazing collection for you, and now it's just like they're gonna like squeeze us and milk us dry for maybe like one or two extra modes and some music packs that we can just listen to off of YouTube.
Yeah, modern Sega sucks. Like I like some of the pre, like, hey, if you pre-order, you get the music. Like, that is literally all pre-orders. Like, I don't have a problem with that one. It's the one where it's like, the animations on the loading screens, you don't get those unless you pre-order. Like, that's just stupid. Like, that's just not in your game. Like, give me a break. That's the stupid shit. Not only that,
it's like, in the menus, you can move the camera around the different islands. It's like, why do I care if I want to
nickel and diming the game to you? It's weird.
It's like, I just want to play. The reason why I want to buy this game, I mean, I would like a physical version. And if they are saying they're not going to do digital, I'll just do what I did with Sonic Mania. I'll buy a digital one on PlayStation and get the physical on Switch. That's not that okay, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, we're going to have all these little nicks and crannies. Like, that shit should have just been in the game from the get-go. You're not going to nickel and dime me for a Sonic animation for a loading screen. That's stupid. I'm sorry.
Can I interject real quickly? The Powerhouse Animation team did new animation for this game. That's just menu exclusive stuff, or is that like in-game stuff?
No. Those animations I did hear they're going to be in all versions, no matter what. So thankfully, and that's one of the reasons why I was so looking forward to it, is because the animations in this trailer are they look so good.
So the new animations, they are tying all the games together into one narrative story. So in between games, there's going to be new animations explaining how things happen from there to there and stuff, which is awesome. Like, that's what I'm going to buy the game, and like, no bells or whistles, just I want to play these games.
Yeah. I mean, I'll probably
and then you can go through all of those Sonic games, and it will be fun. And it is a shame that they're doing it in the DLC way that they are, but at least it's finally making Sonic CD so much more accessible again on consoles. And you can do all that, and then Ryan, you can go play Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 on the Xbox.
Oh, I don't have that yet. I gotta get that copy from you, I guess.
All right.
No, you could just get it on the store.
Oh, like, I can. Oh, right.
$5.
Oh my God! Thank you, Microsoft. You're the best.
Wait. I'm gonna buy some of them tonight.
Hell yeah!
Gonna play Sonic Adventure.
I can tell you what it is, though.
Yeah, because I mean, Sega
$5. I can afford that.
Yeah, I mean, truth be told, we were all hoping that we were going to get the Sonic 3D All Stars, which was going to be Adventure, Adventure 2, and Heroes in one package like they did with Mario, but alas, we're not. But at the same time, I mean, I still have problems with this Origins. I know I'm going to get this collection eventually.
Oh, you're going to buy it. You're a Sonic fan.
Yeah, because also this, like what Spark said, CD and 3 and Knuckles, which haven't been available for quite a long time, especially Sonic CD, because that was only on the Gems collection for the GameCube, never got ported to the PlayStation or never got ported to any other system. It was only stuck on the GameCube, which is a really good Sonic game. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
That's my rant. Sorry, rant over.
I'm excited for it.
Yep, same.
The Black Phone.
I was already excited for this. This was just reinforced. Like, this movie looks really good.
I did not watch this one by choice. I just want you to know. I kind of don't want to know any more about that movie. I didn't know how much this trailer would tell me, but I hadn't seen it, and so I chose not to.
I will say it does one of my
personal
things
preference.
That it just expands on it. It doesn't really reveal anything too much, but it does some things in trailers that I hate. It's like everyone is talking about the Black Phone.
Oh, it does open with that. You're right.
Yeah, I'm like, are they? Like, I know people are excited, but like, it's like they hype it up, and like, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah. All right.
Ethan Hawke is spooky.
That's the thing is like I'm very excited to see it, so I kind of don't want to know more because I already find it like a cool mystery.
Did you watch the
horror
Lightyear
thing.
trailer?
Yes.
Okay.
I really love what I'm seeing from Ethan Hawke in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
super
cool.
sinister.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers at a new trailer.
I want to get this out of the way right off the bat so that we can just talk about everything else that's cool about the trailer. I still hate Chip. I still hate that Chip is a 2D figure that they've animated in 3D instead of drawing in 2D. And it bothers me even more because we see Flounder in this trailer animated in 2D. And I'm like, the only reason that Chip is not animated that way is because they wanted to put the same CGI outfits on him that they put on the other one. And that just drives me up a wall in a way I can't get past.
That's fair.
Everything else about this looks cool.
I'll tell you what. It didn't bother me in the first trailer. I did notice it in this trailer more. I did like the rotoscope, like 2D. I'm like, oh, it does look kind of weird. Like it doesn't bother me as much, but like I definitely noticed it. Like, oh, it's a weird choice, I guess.
It just gets to me when like you're doing 2D animation for the other characters. I don't know why we didn't like if you're actually saying he's 2D and not CGI. Why does he so clearly look CGI? And again, like it's. I don't know why like he can't be wearing the same outfit, but when he puts the outfit on, it's 2D on him. I don't understand why that's hard. I don't understand why we can't do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I am really excited
because every 2D character we see in this looks great. It's the same. By the way, it is the same animation problem I have with Chip with Peter Pan. They're doing the same thing with him, and I don't like that
it's
as much either.
It's definitely noticeable. I am more excited for this than I could have possibly imagined. And these aren't the type of movies like these, like whether it's Smurfs or anything else. Like I don't generally care for them, but just like the avenue that it's taking, and it's the guys who made Popstar, Never Stop, Never Stopping, and there's that movie again, but with all of my favorite nostalgic characters.
Well, like, it's the director. It's the director of Popstar.
Yeah, and like Andy Samberg's in it and stuff. Like
the writer is Crazy Ex-Girlfriend's head writer.
Oh, that's excellent too. I'm like so on board for this, and I know a lot of people on the internet seem to hate it. I'm super excited. Like honestly, I don't know what it is.
Honestly, I wasn't really sold on the first trailer. After seeing this one, I'm like, I'm for it now. To be honest, at first I was kind of like, but now watching this one, I was like, I'm gonna give this one a shot.
Like the writing doesn't feel like traditional, like shitty, like bad kids. Like it feels like it's like they're talking to adults. You know what I mean? It's just like it's like a movie.
It spiritually feels like a successor of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. The amount of sorry, go ahead, Brian.
Rachel Bloom, who's married to the writer of this movie, of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, she said he wrote this script like a decade ago, and when she read it, it was the funniest thing she ever read.
That's awesome.
So I'm like, I'm excited.
This is also some type of like passion project too. That's probably going to be a thing about like a looking back on nostalgia in a way that's going to like make us sad and like it's going to be like really good and shit. Like
the Muppets.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the first Muppets, the good Muppets. Yes.
Yeah, like the Muppets that came out with Jason Segel. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked for this. Like to be honest, I think it looks again like the live action cartoon hybrid. Like we don't get enough of it, and like it looks really good. Besides like the obvious stuff we talked about, it looks really good.
I'm very excited for this, and I was surprised at how much I laughed at the Seth Rogen Pumbaa talking to the Seth Rogen dwarf.
Yeah,
that's the type of shit that I like. I feel like I would hate, but like they're making fun of themselves, which I'm like, I respect you for like how bad that looked. You know what you're doing.
What are you looking at? Your dead eyes.
It's like Beowulf or whatever.
I watched the ending of The Lion King, the new one with my dad. And he goes, "Wow, this looks great." I go, "Yeah, it certainly does look great."
Certainly does look great.
It looks great.
Okay. Yeah, excited for that.
Yeah.
Prehistoric Planet.
So I'm gonna need to borrow someone's Apple TV Plus.
Yeah. Okay. I pay for it. I might as well use it.
So I can watch the After Party because I don't have because I haven't seen After Party yet. But also I really want to watch.
You know what, Ben? Buy a new phone. You'll get it for a year.
Oh yeah, I am good. You know what? I am buying a new phone before I go to Europe. So.
Oh well, there you go.
There we go.
I don't have a lot to say. The dinosaurs look cool. I love not documentaries.
I think this looks really gorgeous. I have a lot to say about this actually. I think this looks gorgeous. There's a lot of talk about how scientifically accurate they are and how like a lot of this stuff like looks like it should have been practical. Like it would have been practical. There was someone said like this dinosaur is wrong now because we know better in the 3 years, like we learned. And so the guy was like, yeah, we discussed it. We discussed changing it in post, but like at the end of the day, we're just too far along. We could like they were thinking about changing a whole new dinosaur to match something new. That's funny to me. I'm really excited for this. I'm stoked.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks
yeah,
looks good.
I think it's really cool what they're doing with it. I'm very surprisingly into it.
Yeah. Jurassic World Dominion.
More dinosaurs.
The dinosaur duo.
Mm-hmm.
You guys talk.
Oh, go ahead, Sparks.
I'm more interested after this trailer than I was after the first one, so that's something. I don't know. I want to know what they're really going to give me, and I don't think either trailer has told me, to be honest. Which is fine. I don't expect it to spell it out for me, or it wouldn't be a lot of fun to watch the movie. I don't know. I'm certainly intrigued by the ideas of the dinosaurs in the world and the original trio being back. I want to watch them. And Wu saying like, oh, we made a mistake, that kind of thing. I think the part that I'm rubbing up against the most is that I just don't understand why we, outside of like, this is how movies are made, I don't understand why we have to get back to Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. I'm just over their characters.
Because it's Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard.
No. I know. That's why I said with the caveat, I know how movies are made.
But I mean, there's no other reason.
But in a story way, I just don't know why we need to do it.
There is no good reason. There really isn't.
Well, it's because of Blue, right? Blue is probably the most compelling character in this franchise, and he needs to. Oh yes, good night, Mag.
Hi, Mag.
I was waiting for a lull to bring up his comment, but yes, I hope you feel better, sir. You've been talking about being sick, so
yeah, I feel better. But hopefully you get to go see Fluffy at Outer Stadium. That would be an amazing show.
So like because Blue is so central to this plot line with her child being captured, like you need Chris Pratt to team up with Blue again. Like Blue needs that kind of like person there.
But that doesn't feel like I don't know how to put this. That feels like the thing they came up with to justify making it so Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard had to be with the original trio and doing other things with these characters rather than a solid story idea in itself. Do you get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's how it's coming across for me. And I think I acknowledge that like it's me kind of just being done with both of their characters after the last one.
Yeah.
Because the real person I'm the most interested in, are we ever going to do anything about it, is the little girl who's a clone.
Yeah.
But we're probably not. I doubt we even bring it up.
Not with Colin Trevorrow back, I bet.
I'm sure honestly, I'm sure we will, because like he likes to try. He likes to try with Colin Trevorrow. He likes to try with ideas. I'm sure we'll go back to the clone girl idea.
Yeah.
I want Malcolm to find out she's a clone so bad. I want Malcolm to be like, it's all over. We did it. We're done. We're done. We screwed up.
Wait, you're a clone?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
Ben, anything for you for this one?
For Dominion, I'm not super hyped, but the chase scenes, the action bits with the dinosaurs and all the different type of dinosaurs we saw, it piqued my interest. It got me interested. Of course, seeing the original trio back makes me happy. And I also really do hope that we're going to go back to the fact that the little girl is the clone. And I also hope she gets more to do in this movie.
A lot of characters.
There's a shot where Pratt is backing away from two Carnotauruses the way he backs away from the Velociraptors. And I'm like, please don't tell me he trained Carnotauruses.
I'm just saying
that's
this
ridiculous.
Trailer had so much of the hand stuff going on. And at this point, to me, I just find it a parody.
I really hope that I really hope it turns into a running joke where he keeps doing the hand thing. And it's like, dude, that's a Carnotaurus. It's not going to work on a raptor.
Well,
Some rappers that
Blue.
don't them.
No, it doesn't. Hold on, real quickly, because actually that kind of bugs me a little bit that you said that. It doesn't
I
just
know.
work on Raptors. I'm
I
not
know.
talking to you, Ryan. I'm talking to
Oh,
Beth. I'm not. It's not. It doesn't work on Raptors. It works on Blue because the last movie because the last movie showed us that Blue is genetically defective. There is something. There's something wrong with her that makes her more compassionate, more empathetic than a Raptor. So the hand thing works on Blue specifically, and because she's the alpha, it worked on the others. The other thing is, Blue attacks Chris Pratt in this film. Like she's so angry that she has lost her child that the hand thing, whatever this is, doesn't work. Blue is pissed. Blue is on a rampage. And I kind of enjoyed that.
For a second.
Can I just say, like, that wasn't my read on the scene. That was, I didn't read it as her being willing to like viciously attack him. It was her saying, "Go fix this."
Yeah.
That came across as very much like a let's say you took a pup from a mom dog. It was that kind of behavior, not like the kind of like now I will kill all things kind of behavior.
Sure.
That was my read. I don't think that this means that like she's willing to. I don't think that it meant that she's willing to now kill Chris Pratt kind of thing. Like I think she's saying like you go fix this.
Yeah, they're still going to be
because Blue is smart enough to recognize they don't have the means to, so they're saying you go take care of this, go fix it. I'm also aware that I'm keeping myself pretty low on it because I want to give it the best chance of me liking it when I see it. So I'm not letting my stuff get up too high about it. But I want to hear what Brandon has to say because I know he's excited.
Oh yeah,
I didn't say I was excited.
Oh,
I know, but I know it.
I could have hated this. I that's rude.
Did you?
No, I really liked it. I don't want to talk about it.
Why?
Brandon, it's okay to have different opinions.
I understand it's okay to have different opinions, but I don't always feel safe mentioning my different opinions because honestly, a lot of the time, I get backed into a corner by you three.
Man,
I just asked if I could hear it.
I liked it. What am I supposed to say? That I disagree with all your points?
Brandon,
because I don't disagree.
Podcast.
No, hold on. You asked me to talk, and let me talk.
Okay.
What am I supposed to say though? Because like I liked this trailer. I'm excited for this movie. You guys are not. That does not put me. That does not put me in an enviable position because I do not like being on the other side. Regardless of what this podcast is, I try to make it so that I have a good time, that we all have a good time, and quite often that means that sometimes I just decide not to step in it, and I don't think that's a problem.
No, you're right. I think there's some really great shots in this trailer, even though I'm not really looking forward to it. I think visually, I'm not gonna hate it.
All right, Lightyear.
I wish I didn't watch this trailer.
I kind of wish too.
It's a great trailer, but it reveals the freaking what's the movie actually about, and it bums me out.
Yeah.
Great trailer. I'm really excited for the movie. They not only showed what the movie's about, they showed us all the villain stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, so like, what's the surprise now?
Yeah, I kind of wish that like. I don't know. I was more excited the last trailer. Like the last trailer just made me excited. Like this one didn't make me excited.
And nothing. I don't think it's a bad trailer. It's just like it showed me like the movie. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. What's the surprise though? Because I really think the big twist. And if you haven't watched this trailer, I'm not going to reveal it if you're an audio listener, because I think it's a part of the movie that's important. Because there's characters in that first trailer that we now know about in this new trailer, and I'm like, how are we supposed to grow or learn or anything? Sparks, how do you feel about this one?
I'm not too bothered, mostly because Pixar tends to not give away the whole game, even when you feel like they have. So I have no reason to think they have. So I still want to see it.
Oh, I mean, I want to see it. Yeah.
No, I know, but I mean, like it didn't really diminish anything for me. I was surprised to learn it, but I also enjoyed everything I saw about it. So
there's a character reveal, also a villain reveal, and like we know they're in the movie, but like you don't need to show me it, you know. Let me see.
I didn't mind the villain reveal because like we saw that in the last trailer too. Like we know what he kind of looks like,
but like we get like a full action shot, and I'm like, okay,
yeah. I'm still excited for it. It's still one of my most anticipated films of the year, if not my most anticipated film of the year.
Oh yeah.
But that I'm excited. I want to see it. Show it to me. No more trailers.
When's it? I forgot when it comes out.
June.
June. Okay.
Yeah, June.
June.
And I have to agree that. I mean, I know where Sam's coming from, or excuse me, not who's that guy? I know where Sparks is coming
He's our
from.
editor. He's not on the show.
Yeah, that guy. I know where. Sorry,
Behind
Sparks
the scenes right now.
Slip of the tongue there, but your name both starts with the letter S. My bad.
Well done. Wait, you already moved on from it. Why are you still going?
Because that's how my brain works, unfortunately. Yeah, I know what Sparks is saying because, Pixar, even though they do tend to reveal sometimes a bunch of stuff in their second trailer, they do like to keep the one big thing, like the big emotional, very close to the chest. But I also agree that I kind of wish I didn't see a whole lot. Like the whole, once again, I don't want to spoil exactly what it is if you haven't seen it, but the main draw of the film is, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, and then the more I thought about it, I was like, man, I wish I didn't see that again. I mean,
it would have been a cool thing to see in the theater, is all, you know?
Yeah.
There's a line that I really appreciated. I really like that he walks out like, Buzz Lightyear to Star Command. Why don't they answer?
I love that.
Like Tim Allen did in the first Toy Story. Really good.
Or even when he, or in the very beginning of the trailer between him and Felicia, when she's like, "Are you narrating?" No, and then it's like, narrating helps me think. It's
nice to see like Buzz's character like really shine. Like, oh yeah, like he is a character. Like that is cool.
Yeah, I'm also with Brandon. Like some of my most anticipated films this year were, of course, Sonic, and now it's Lightyear. It looks absolutely gorgeous. I still sing from the first one. I still sing Starman by David Bowie in my head.
Oh yeah.
Once in a while when I see those images, because it just looks so bloody gorgeous.
It does. It's, again, like I said it last time, like it's nice to have like a big budget animated like genre movie, like a sci-fi movie
that's going to theaters.
Oh yeah, Disney Plus wouldn't put a gay kiss on there. Heavens.
Cut it.
Okay, Thor: Love and Thunder.
That was this week or last week?
That was last week.
Jesus.
Never mind. Amendment to my last statement. This is also one of my most anticipated films of the year.
I've just been thinking about Natalie Portman's buff arms for 2 weeks.
Oh God, yes.
Everything about this trailer looks great. Did not go the direction I thought it was going to go. Is the idea that he's like, I don't want to fight anymore. This sucked. We lost. I'm good.
Bad news, bud. You got to fight a whole lot more real quick.
Yeah.
We saw Zeus. We see Olympus. Hercules is probably going to be in this movie, and I'm not ready for it because that is like, you think Moon Knight's a stupid character to show up? Hercules. That's a dumb one, y'all. Oh, juicy. It's so juicy.
The Jane Foster reveal with the repaired Mjolnir. I was like I saw that trailer. I instantly went to my Marvel Unlimited and I put Jason Aaron's Run as to my to read list. And I'm like, I am ready to dive headfirst into this amazing ride.
It's really interesting because like all new Marvel or Marvel new whatever it was when Falcon became Cap and Jane
Marvel
became
Now.
Marvel Now, thank you. That was like a cool little era, and then it kind of like ended, and now we're getting Sam back as Captain America, which is awesome.
All new, all different Marvel. That's
all
what
new,
it
all
is.
Different. All new, all different.
Marvel Now was before that.
Yes, that was with the Moon Knight relaunch, but having these legacy characters like go away, but like it's happening in the movies so soon, only a couple years after this stuff happened. It's insane. It's really cool. It's really like Jane as Thor is such an icon for so many young women. And I really hope they do the cancer story. It's going to be really interesting if they don't. Okay, good. I don't know how you would do that story without it, because the emotion behind that stuff is so rock solid. Like Taika forever.
They just pasted a Assad Ribic art page onto their screen. It was just like, we're done.
Yeah, definitely the most egregious. Just like taking someone's work that we've ever
looks
seen.
Great.
Absolutely. It is, for better or worse, an exact copy of that page.
Yeah.
It looks great though. It's really cool. Like no gore, which is cool. Let's just focus on Jane. Yeah, she's got all the buzz.
Gore's probably gonna be for the second trailer, but
we'll see.
Also, we talked about good needle drops in trailers before. Sweet Child of Mine was amazing in this trailer.
Do we think that has any symbolism in the movie? Do children have anything to do with this one? Because we know that like he used the Led Zeppelin song and it was actually in the movie last one. So like, does do children have anything to play? Does Thor have a secret child? Do we think? Like, I'm just spitballing fun. Do we think anything like that?
I don't know. I think it was just a really good needle drop, to be perfectly honest. And also it helps set the tone because "Sweet Child of Mine" is a hard rock ballad. So and Thor at Peace, and that song is, I mean, that
maybe Thor is the sweet child.
He's the child.
Yeah, maybe. This trailer, it rocked my socks off.
It's not even a trailer. It's like a teaser.
Yeah, it's a teaser. It rocked my socks off. I'm looking forward to it. I'm so ready for July.
Sparks, you haven't said anything for Thor yet?
I pretty much echo everything you guys said.
Yeah. Very excited for this movie.
He's got his regular eye back.
Okay. That's all the news. So instead of going to our main topic, which would be a review of the Northman, we're going to do that one last, and instead go to our book club.
I like that owl a lot.
That's good. That took me by surprise. It's my turn for the book club. I have these in single issues. The trade is not out yet, but I chose Demon Days. All 5 of the one-shots for Demon Days, which were X-Men, Mariko, Cursed Web, Rising Storm, and Blood Feud, all written and drawn by Peach Momoko. So, what do we think about this guy?
Peach Momoko.
Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more. Give me more.
What Ben said. This is a very, very refreshing look, and not just the Marvel Universe, but a different art style that we're generally used to in superhero comic books. It's really cool that a creator is just allowed to do whatever they want, like with this, and like take it in such a cool way that like I think a lot of like Americans probably aren't used to seeing this kind of stuff. So really, really great stuff, and like incorporating the characters as I do, and having the main character be Mariko Yoshida, who is a obscure X-Men character from the 80s that Wolverine like hooked up with. Like she's barely in any books in the modern days. So like have free reign to just retell that story from the 80s with the Silver Samurai, who is Ogun, and all these other characters.
She is okay. I thought she was Everfrost.
No, see, I at first did too, but she's already in another Peach Momoko story from King and Black, so it's not Everfrost. It is the Silver Samurai.
I did not read the King and Black one, but I did read all 5 of these issues, and
it's the Everfrost one's very short. It's cool.
I like the reason why I specifically wanted Ryan to read it because I like the version of Emma Frost. I thought
and she has a Juggernaut companion. It's like the Straw Hat, but he's a Juggernaut.
Oh, that's cool stuff.
It is pretty cool.
Sorry, Ben.
No, this series is amazing, and I'm glad that Peach Momoko is going to continue to do more. While I didn't think of it while I was reading it. I just thought of it now. This reminds me a lot of Marvel 1612, whereas it's a creator and an artist being able to do whatever the heck they want. Whereas Neil Gaiman with Marvel 1612, let's put the Marvel Universe in the early 17th century. Whereas in this one, she was able to. I love how Logan's a wolf.
Oh, he's Wolverine.
Wolverine.
Yeah.
No, because that's the animal he is. He's a Wolverine.
Oh, I love how Logan's the Wolverine. I love how I just love that. I love how Black Widow is a spy, but she's also a maid, and she like became a caretaker for Mariko, and I love the Hulks, like where we see Psylocke in the first book, and then we see which is the Red Hulk, and then we see the Hulkling Bruce Banner in like book 4. Like book 4, book 5. It's like that is such a unique way to do it, and I like Jubilee is like the shaman I love everything how Peach Momoko like she twists it, but it's a way that it's still recognizable, but it's her own thing, and it's still that's true to like X character or whatever.
The Venom Snake is really cool.
Oh god, that was so cool. That was great. I was like, yeah, that's neat. That's neat. I like that a lot.
Sparks.
Yeah, I thought it feels redundant to say that the art is really good, but the art is really good. And there are times where it's like Ghibli-esque with how it handles characters and things like that. I really enjoyed it. It's just a nice, different take. And it doesn't feel like it's doing the thing where like it's nudging you with its nods to who characters are, that kind of thing, where it's like a wink, wink, haha, you know what I'm doing. It's just naturally telling a different version of a story for these characters. I think that's really good.
Since I love reading, but since like reading the current X-Men, and they always have data pages, anytime there's supplemental material with a bunch of words, I'm gonna read the shit out of it. So all this stuff was cool. The Jubilee Curse Master, she mixes like magic and medicine. I found this really fascinating because basically they were Jedi. So Shugendo adherents called Yamabushi were part priest, part mystic. They lived apart from society and freely wandered the mountains of Japan, where they were considered the abode of kami. Ordinary people were in awe of them. When help was needed, they would descend from the mountaintops to perform complex rituals of abjugation. So they're Jedi. They were Jedi. I'm like, that's hella cool.
My favorite twist was Thor and Storm.
Oh, that was so cool. Yeah. Oh man, what a cool interpretation of like little Storm, big Thor.
And
we're not Oni, we're not yokai, we're gods.
What a page, what a splash.
And it was their actual like reading the Japanese god, like the actual Raijin and Fujin,
who is in Mortal Kombat, who you guys met.
You're right.
Yeah. So seeing Raijin and Fujin, reading those bits about him, it's like, man, that is so cool. And also seeing like the little tell at the end of the third issue where we meet them when they're walking to Mariko, and you see the statue of Raijin statue. It's like, oh, okay, we're going that direction. Good.
Here it is. I'm pulling up the
what
page.
A splash page. What a page.
Yeah, like he's Thor still has his hammer, which I mean that's awesome, but
one of my favorite pages is the one of Mariko and her mother. Yes, Ryan, you pulled.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I also like the interpretation of Spider-Gwen.
Oh, I thought that was Silk.
Oh, could be.
It could be. I wasn't sure if it was Spider-Woman or Spider-Gwen. It was definitely Spider-Lady.
I thought that the color pattern made me think it was Spider-Gwen because it's the purples and the whites.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
That was good. I thought it was just like a spider person. Okay, but that works.
Because there was nothing in her name that conveyed that she was
Cindy Moon
or anything like that. So or Gwen. So I just went off the coloring of the character. Yeah.
She gives the spider a little fist bump.
Oh, that is so cute. I love that. Sabretooth
and she's got I was just gonna say she's got the motivation that's like what happened to Peter Parker in a sense, because it's like, she's motivated by like, you killed my family. That's very, very Spider-Gwen, Peter Parker, like someone I love died. That's what I'm doing. So that's why I thought that was Spider-Gwen.
Okay.
There's a moment where she has to like vomit up a key, and for some reason it's like the art really sells me on that moment.
The panel before that where she's doing like the breath, that's the like most Ghibli-esque art to me, where like the eyes like bulge up.
Yeah. Like there's that like when they turn into like the fight action scenes, like and their eyes get exaggerated. I adore this art so much.
I'd show you the one I'm talking about, but I can't because it's on
the phone.
That's good.
I really like the first issue. I'm kind of sad that we didn't continue in the feudal Japan era, because I really liked the aesthetic of the first issue, and I liked Psylocke. I liked that revision of that character a lot.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Psy, yeah.
I really like the direction the story took anyway.
Yeah, I forgot
when
that it went into
Saber,
modern route.
When Sabretooth and Mystique both show up, just Sabretooth like translates so quickly, so well when she slashes his eyes. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's like the little eye pops out. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I mean, just to reiterate, this art is great. I can't wait for the 4-issue mini. The reveal of her sister, of Ogun, is actually her sister.
That's a nice change, because I didn't expect that, because like I knew it was Silver Samurai, but like making her like actually part of the family, I was like, oh, that's a good little twist to make it a little more ooh.
Yeah. The whole story of of their parents, the two yokai parents, the way she told it which I think it was in this issue. This kind of like it's still her style, but it kind of gets a bit more stylized, a bit more like it's a painting on like a divider. You see like those dividers. I don't know the proper name for them in Japan, but I think that's all really well stylized, especially like when she's taking her husband's head and you just kind of see her transform from the top to the bottom, and that conveys motion. It's not paneling, it's just a really well designed scene.
Yeah,
Right.
I buy so many of her covers now, and now that I've moved and I put them all away, I'm like, man, why do I have all these covers? But she just specifically like her Ghost Rider one that she did recently for the new Ghost Rider series is just like phenomenal. I'm like, I didn't even know you can make Ghost Rider look pretty. Like, it's just such a pretty Ghost Rider. Just such a unique look. That just like you immediately know that it's Peach Momoko. I'm so excited for more. Once the book ended, I was like, oh, there's a coming back in the summer, and I'm like, thank God.
Yeah, she's also doing a story in the Elektra Blood White and Red, or Blood White and Black, for Demon Days. It's gonna be collected in the trade. So,
Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah, the fight between Ogun and Mariko, really good. I love every time she does she puts the armor on,
the jaw armor,
and you see her mother behind her
as a JoJo stand. Yeah,
good stuff. I like this book quite a bit.
Yeah, good time.
Is that everything? Does anybody have anything else you want to add?
Nothing else.
This is a negative. Like, it's a relatively simple book. Like, I think like the art does a lot of it. It's not like it's badly written. It's just like it's kind of like nice and swift. It's like a nice journey.
I do enjoy how of an easy read it was.
Yeah, easy read.
It was really easy for me to get through it. Not to say that a 5-issue miniseries isn't easy, but I enjoyed I did enjoy the simplicity of it. I was a little bummed that we only were in Feudal Japan for one issue, which got me thinking, is this an anthology? But the more I read into Mariko's story, the more I was engaged, the more I wanted to see how it ended. And it turned out to be a fantastic read. And I would highly recommend other people once this does get collected in trades, I would highly recommend it's like, you should, if you want something different from Marvel, but something with a little anime flair, go there.
Yeah, Ben, it's only like 5 pages, but check out King in Black #4 on Marvel Unlimited, and it's like a 5-page little like Psylocke versus Emma Frost story.
Okay,
it's pretty cool.
I thought that was going to be far more important.
It's a beautiful little thing, but it's just like here's a little nugget.
Because like Frost at the end was just like, oh, I'll remember this for next time. She's more formidable. So I expected to have the next time show up in this book, but like never does.
That's why, I was like, oh, so this isn't Ogun. That makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I'll do it. Sparks, right? Sparks is book club next week, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay.
We got time.
So we'll let you know a little bit later. That's
time to hit the hay. Time to get out of here.
I guess that means you're out, Sparks, because we gotta do Northman now.
All right. Have a good time, guys.
The Southman. Goodbye, friend.
Good night, buddy.
Bye.
Appreciate you.
See the Northman in theaters.
Okay, so let's move in.
Fell off the air.
To the Northman. I must have the Thornin. The Northman, directed by Robert Eggers. Full spoilers for this movie. If you've not seen this movie yet, do your thing. Not quite as important as Everything Everywhere All at Once, but still, if you're spoiler averted. So what do we think about this?
I will go first. I really liked this movie. I had an absolute blast with it. I'm not going to say I absolutely loved it, because there are things that kind of got me, but on a whole, this movie was fantastic, and I really enjoyed watching it.
I agree 100%. I won't say that I loved it, but I definitely really liked it. Hopefully during this discussion I can figure out like where I totally land on it, but I'm very positive. Man, Alexander Skarsgård is so jacked in this movie. It's insane. His traps have traps on traps. He looks like a hunchback almost at times.
He's kind of like when he's the slave, he's kind of like hunching over.
I do like his change in demeanor when he's the slave, outside when he was the beastman or I mean, he was a kid, but when he is questing and when he's murdering, and then he changes, it's kind of like the Clark Kent effect, whereas you stay hunched and you try to keep your head down, but when he's, on the prowl and like kicking ass and taking aims, his demeanor completely changes, his body language completely changes.
Clark Kent.
Yeah. Pull up Grayson's comment.
No.
Grayson, you should always be questioning your masculinity if you are worried about questioning your masculinity. Don't know how to tell you.
If you're questioning it, you're being questioned.
Okay. I really like this one. I thought this was a lot of fun. I think Robert Eggers is great anyway, but like there's some gorgeous shots of like Iceland scenery in this movie.
It's the type of thing where, like, we watch so many special effects movies that use special effects to convey the things that just are alive in our world. And like you watch this movie and they're just like, there's specifically a montage of when the slaves are being transported across Iceland, and there's a bunch of different types of scenarios or like environments, and it's like, that's all real. That's all real. That's insane. The world is so beautiful, and like we really don't get to see it that often because we're stuck in concrete jungles. Gorgeous movie, insanely beautiful.
We forget how beautiful places like Iceland are, and films like this remind us, is like, yo, this is what the environment is like over there.
Yeah.
The Ethan Hawke is great. I really like
his 5 minutes. He's really good.
Either way,
his line of like, I want to go out by the sword, not as a coward graybeard. Because you were seen in that culture, if you got gray in your beard, that means you're a coward because you were never in a battle.
Yeah, because you got too old. You lived too long.
Yeah, that was. I loved. Okay, so I want to talk about one of the things that I really loved about this movie, and I was talking to a friend, one of our viewers, Amy, because we were talking about this movie. She was kind of on the fence about it, but one of the things I loved, and that she also agrees was really good, was how they kept the mysticism in this film, and it wasn't like over bombastic, like straight magic mysticism, but it was like kind of like it makes sense, but you still have that sense of magic in the air. Like a good scene is like when Anya Taylor-Joy's character, I can't remember her name, Olga. When Olga is chanting in her mother tongue and she asks the wind to take her and her babies home, and the wind and the sails full. That's awesome. Or one of my favorite bits of the movie is when people are trying to draw the sword, but they can't because it's daylight.
Also really like speaking to that point, the fight scene with the zombie king.
Fanny keeps calling it an Elden Ring boss fight.
What's
I think also felt Elden Ring.
I think the term, this is just going by God of War, is Draugr.
Yeah.
It's Draugr. Skyrim is the same way. Yeah.
Okay. And so like that was really cool. But when it ends and he puts his face up his butt, it goes back and nothing had happened. But you like, it's kind of left up like, okay, well, did something happen, or is this part of the spell that just kind of reverts after you?
That zombie king scene is so well shot, because it's like a one shot of he beats the king, and then it goes back to the origin where he's standing in front of the king. It does like an overhead thing, and it's like, man, especially like, it's so well done. And it's like, was it all in his brain? Was it real? It was like, love it.
That's what I was saying. That's part of the mysticism that I love about this. And even when we get a quick shot of Odin.
Yeah.
Odin is
when he's in the background with the crows.
Yeah. For a split second, it's like, that's what I really enjoy about this movie. It's like, it doesn't go like hardcore magic, but it also doesn't go like direct realism as well. It's like, it plays the middle ground so well that it's like, it can be magic or it can be amazing coincidence. We don't know.
I watched an interview with the director, Robert Eggers, and he said, so I believe him, this is the most historically accurate Viking movie ever made. He went to Sweden and Denmark and Iceland, and he talked to scholars and historians, and he went to all these places in real life. And because growing up, he was very anti-Viking, because in modern culture, white supremacists have taken on Viking culture and like their slogans and the runes and stuff. So he was very anti-masculine, anti-Viking. and then he went there and he learned about it and the lore and the culture and the mysticism and all that. And he's like, God, this is so fascinating. There's one group shouldn't own this. This is bullshit. So he made this movie. So everything you see in this movie is as accurate as it could possibly be, including all the clothing, every like structure that they made, all the weapons. Like it's all real deal shit. So like all that mysticism stuff is like what they really did and believed.
I really appreciate that they used the Old Norse translations for all the like Valhall instead of Valhalla.
Yeah, hell, yeah.
Odin, Valkyr instead of Valkyrie.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate that they going back to that what you're talking about, the historically accurate thing. Like really, just like this is how they would have said it in their language at this time.
I knew I was gonna real quick, Ben. I knew I was gonna like this movie. Like Robert Eggers is like he's a dude who makes good shit, but like early in the movie when Amleth is he's doing the beast stuff with the guys by the fire, and they're just dancing, and then they turn into beasts, and they're all howling, and it's still just like one shot. It's like a 5-minute scene. I'm just like, oh, this is the good shit. This is getting a view into history. Like obviously, like this happened in 895 or whatever. This is a real long time ago. I'm never gonna experience that, see that, know what it's like. This is as close I can get to like what it was like, and I'm like, that's incredible. I'm like seeing how it used to be, and I'm like, the world's weird, man. We used to be beastmen.
Like you see, or you see the scene with Ethan or with the king and Amleth, his son, when they're doing the beast thing as well. With Willem Dafoe's character, the court jester, and it's like there are times where I'm watching this, I'm like, this is some weird stuff, but at the same time, it's like, but this is probably what they did back then. This is what their rituals were about. And it's like, and it's weird. It looks odd, but that's what they did. So
like they believe that like there's animals inside of them, like it's part of them.
And they interestingly they didn't punish emotion. This is kind of something that I stumbled on before this movie. That Vikings were like totally fine with crying, which in our culture is even today is seen as like an emasculate thing. But like there's a bit where Defoe takes his tear and is like, this is the only tear you will shed. This is the last tear. The last tear you will shed, and the next time you cry is when you've taken vengeance on whatever.
You have to earn your tears.
You have to earn your tears.
Yeah.
That's a really good scene.
Yeah, it's like this is the last tear you will make in weakness.
Oh, and weakness. That's it. That's it. Yes.
There you go.
That's good stuff. Good stuff.
Then you see Amleth goes to like a shaman underground, and then he gets Willem Dafoe's zombie head.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff. Good. All the stuff with that guy like chanting. Okay, so throat chanting is back, y'all. We got it in Dune. Now it's back in the Northman. I love me some like, oh yeah. I love that. I love hearing it. So much of it. Nicole Kidman is so good in this movie. She gives a speech.
She kisses her son.
Well, hey man, Hamlet is a thing. This is based off spoilers. The Viking sagas. It's what Hamlet is based off of. So Hamlet's stole from that, and that's in the Lion King became that. It's moms kiss people. It's gross. Gross.
This is the story. This is the story that Shakespeare that made Hamlet off of, and I thought that was really interesting when I learned that, because like you always think of Hamlet being like Shakespeare being the inspiration. You never think of what inspired him.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of it's a little similar to when John Carter came out and everyone said it was a Star Wars ripoff, when John Carter was what influenced Star Wars.
Yeah, and what I love is like I'm pretty sure like most of the people in this movie are fake, but there's references to real shit happening. So like Fjolnir, the evil uncle, he got his ass kicked by King Herod, who's king of the Vikings and king of the Danish. So it's cool that like real world stuff was happening while this guy got his ass kicked. So like this whole story of revenge, it's like a side story of a guy who lost.
Yeah.
So it's just a bunch of like, when you look at it, it's all sad. It's all just revenge begets revenge. It's all sad, and the ending is sad, but it's so good. Like Vikings.
Fjolnir the brotherless.
The brotherless, yeah.
Fjolnir was king of Norway, and then another king just came in and kicked him out, and that's why he fled to Iceland.
King Herod. Yep. He's
became a sheep farmer.
He did.
Yeah.
The volcano fight scene, awesome.
Oh yeah, that was.
Oh my God, bro.
That was so good.
Naked volcano fights are great.
If I have one, now this is the dumbest of nitpicks, but if I had one tiny little nitpick, like when they say I will meet you at the gates of hell and they go to the volcano, it's like that's technically not hell, or that's not their hell.
It's the mouth of hell.
What do you mean? What do you mean it's not their hell?
Because isn't it in Viking and Norse mythology, their hell is bitter cold? It's frozen. It's literally frozen.
I don't think they literally.
You're right.
Hell, it's true, but like I think the gates of hell is that volcano. I think that like it's both like we're going to hell together to die, but also we need to meet in a place that's like hell, which is
But when I see a volcano, it's like, hey, we're going to the gates of hell, and I see fire and brimstone. It's like, yeah, but that's not the Viking hell.
You know what? I'll allow it.
Yeah.
I'll allow it because you are right.
Yeah.
That the realm of hell is ice cold, and that's rare in that. So yeah, you know what? Good point. Actually,
but the gates of hell might be different.
Yeah, there's also that.
I'll just say I trust the guy who made the most historically accurate Viking movie to know what he's doing.
Oh no! Once again, this is not me saying that this is ruining the movie. This is just me being very, very nitpicky. Because when I was watching that, sorry, Brandon, I'm going to put you on the spotlight here because I remember from Miscellaneous when you and Sparks were talking about hell, and of course when we were playing God of War.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I mean,
that's a cool concept, by the way.
Of course, that was the tiniest little nitpick I have, but that volcano scene is probably my favorite scene in the whole film, just because of how well it's shot. You can see Fjolnir in the smoke, just barely.
Just shows up naked.
You know what? Maybe because it's instant death at a volcano.
Yeah.
You'll go to hell.
Instant death. Yeah. The mushroom scene. Real quick, the mushroom scene I love. Also, the guy who gets his nose cut off and he's like a side character the whole movie, love that guy. Piece of shit the whole way through. He gets what he deserves. But that mushroom scene is so good and it's so scary because the second the guy starts doing this, you know what's happening. And then you hear the screams along the entire beach. And you see everyone just killing themselves. And I'm like, man, this is wild. I love it.
I was, if there was one thing I was hoping like Fjolnir's oldest son had a bit more of a fight with what's the main character's name? Omleth, yeah. I was hoping there would be more of a fight. Yeah. Viking Hamlet. I was hoping there'd be more of a fight because like when he first meet him, like, Omleth is enslaved, and then I just love how he goes over and like punches him on the side and doesn't do jack shit. And I'm like,
well, because see, I see what you mean, but I actually think it's better that he didn't go out he did not go out honorably. That's the whole point. He didn't go out fighting. He died in his sleep and it got his heart taken out. He died like the worst possible way he could. Like that's the reason he did that.
I didn't even notice that Fjolnir had his hand in his son's chest until he took it out. Because he that was an instinct. He was like, gotta see if the heart's there. It's not.
Because he can't go to Valhalla without it. It's where his soul is.
Yeah, I thought that, and then he shows up with the do you want the heart back? He starts fighting with the heart in his back.
Oh my god, dude, he's like the most intense scream, like, I am Hamlet, I will kill you, and he's just like, ah, he's about to Hulk out of his own body. He's so ripped. It's like I feel like. Drink some water, Alexander Skarsgård.
And he fights, and he fights them with the sheath on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And Ben, you brought up earlier how they can't unsheath it during the day. That's a good catch.
I love because twice, when Omleth gets his sword, or he's there, he sees it, he sees a chance. Oh shit, he runs away. Mm-hmm. And then when No-No's dude, he can't draw the sword, so he's like, F it, and he just tosses and he just chucks it.
His death is gnarly.
Oh yeah, definitely. We didn't have a big crowd, but I was sitting next to Sparks' mom and Megan, his partner, and the slow blade through the nose. The entire audience of 8 people went, "Oh!" It was a lot.
Yeah, it's really good though.
Very visceral. Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely shows the brutality of that age too. Like when the Beastmen take over that village. And they round up a bunch of the villagers and the kids, and they toss them into
the kids,
and they burn them because that age in human history was unrelentingly brutal.
Well, you see, like that's also what kind of puts the main character on the path to going to remembering this is what his thing, because he sees the kid run away like he did.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
He sees essentially him, and then he gets captured and put in a flaming building.
He already seems to have some some like he says like I don't kill women. Looks like he's a bad guy, but he has some reservations.
Yeah. Was it Anya Taylor-Joy like has her period? It's like rubs it on his face.
Oh my god, yeah, because Fjolnir wants to like give her some, and she's like, "Not this time, big boy."
And it's just
really gross.
Yeah, it's really gross.
And even her lines like, "Oh, I see you're not afraid of a woman's blood anymore." It's like, "Oh, burn."
Yeah.
You mentioned Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
We didn't really go too much into her.
No, we did not.
But yeah, she has the brilliant thing. I begged Fjolnir to kill your father.
So it's probably me just not picking up on cues early on in the movie because to me it was a twist of when she revealed to Amleth that she was the one who helped orchestrate his father's death.
Oh,
and who
no,
wanted to orchestrate.
It is 100%. It is 100% a twist. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, okay. I didn't see it coming. I thought it was going to be two things. First, I thought it was going to be after 20 years, Fjolnir was actually going to end up being a good person. So he was going to have conflict. That's not the problem. He's still a bad guy. Second, I thought it was going to be that Nicole Kidman just over time learned to love him. And it wasn't that she was evil. But no, she was bad from the get-go. She's the instigator. She needs to get punished.
And she wanted to kill... She was hoping they would kill her son.
Yeah.
It's like, they were supposed to get you too.
And it is a great speech because, like, we only saw the good of Ethan Hawke's character. He, for all we know, was a bad king, a bad guy, all that stuff. Like, did not like his wife, made her have a child. So,
she shows her slave mark.
Yeah,
that she was a slave herself. That she was taken from
Brittany.
Yeah,
she was taken from the land of Brittany, which is Britain, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
it's
there you go.
Devious, and it's just like shows that like devious people they meet up and then they cause bad shit.
I mean, you feel bad because like for Amleth, he is this character that you want to see succeed and win, but at the same time, he's not the best person because he was part of the Beastman tribe. He would do raids on villages and help in the slaughter of other people, but then you see that his whole life was essentially everything he was fighting for up to that point. Like he wanted to save his mother, and when he finally gets the chance, he's like, "Mom, let's go." She's like, "No. I wanted this. I wanted you dead."
Gunner, I gave birth to Gunner free of my that's my son. This little kid, not you.
Just that.
What did Bjork say to him? Like you'll have to choose to
choose your kin or choose like your love or revenge, basically.
Yeah. And like
I choose both.
You chose revenge. Like he's like deluding himself to think that no, this is the right thing. But like if he had just left, Fjolnir wouldn't have come after him.
No, he would have. No.
There's no way Fjolnir was going to leave Iceland. He was just going to if he could just like biggie bounce back to Norway. He's like, yeah, you're fine. But
and like the thing of like he's going to his death once he leaves that boat. Like he says, I'll come back, I'll find you. But like no. He's chosen the path that will kill him, and he chose wrong. And that kind of becomes a tragedy in a way.
Because Fjolnir is not a king anymore. He's a shepherd. He's a shepherd.
He's a chieftain.
Like he would leave
a chieftain. He isn't
leave you alone.
He's just a chieftain. He has no grand army. He has no host. He has maybe like a handful of fighters, and
he's got a dozen men. Yeah,
the best one among them was Amleth because he saved their son during that field
very violent game.
Yeah.
Oh
my god. Yeah.
When the guy was about to smack the ball into the kid,
that was gonna kill him.
Your chief is right there. What are you doing, bro?
Right.
He just loved violence. I love the showing of the family tree. It's like the branches of like the tree, and you actually see like the people on it. Like you're like looking at like like a map of a family tree. And I love the end where like he sees like his two unborn children. He's like, "I'm gonna have twins. You have to live. I'll be right back. I'm getting cigarettes."
Yeah. Doesn't Ethan Hawke take off his shirt and like his like stomach becomes the tree, and like we see the tree?
Oh yeah.
Through him. Yeah. That's pretty good.
That's good. And in the beginning of the movie when you see his wound and it's like it's just like gooey, like
yeah.
Or there's a bit where the guy gets so cut up and he runs through the door and he's like with his guts hanging out.
Oh yeah,
pretty good.
Body parts get turned into like a horse or something.
Yeah, like
some
like she like a horse or something. Wild.
And you see that one dude just get literally flayed, and then the sacrifice goes free.
Intestine goes.
The scene with the Valkyrie was pretty cool, where he thinks he's going to Valhalla, aka Valhalla, but then he wakes up in the hot spring, and then when you actually do see him riding with the Valkyrie into the gates of Valhalla, I was like, I mean, it's like he did get his revenge, and he's going to Valhalla, but he's missing time with his. I'm just gonna call her his wife and unborn children.
Yeah,
but this is a tragedy. It's a tragic story, but it's not one that makes me sad. Like, oh, I'm so sad. But it's like it was a good ending. I would say it was a great ending.
The Valkyrie have it looks like they have braces. It's not. Yeah. They file their teeth and they put stuff in their teeth to make them look like they're battle ready.
Interesting.
So it's basically battle braces for Viking warriors.
Oh, because Fanny was asking about that. She's like, she's wearing braces. I'm like,
battle braces. Yeah.
So like they just file their teeth in and they
like cut holes basically in their teeth and shove shit in there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Ben, I believe, no matter who you are, if you die in battle, you go to Valhalla.
Oh yeah. That's what it was. I mean,
so if you don't die in battle, you go to hell, which is a crazy system. If you die in battle, you go to basically heaven. If you just die, well, you go to hell.
I was I remember that episode of Miscellaneous, or I remember your episode of Miscellaneous too, because that is because that's one of the things I love about Ethan Hawke's character, the king. He said he can't be a shameful gravedigger because he's like, I have to die in battle. Whereas now that I look back on it, it's like maybe there is some dissent with the queen because her husband at the time is like, oh, I just need to go out conquest and just die. I have a kid. I have a queen,
we look at it from two different perspectives, right? Because it looks like from the audience that Ethan Hawke comes back and he's so excited to see his wife and he's so excited to see his kid. He's so happy to be home. But the way Nicole Kidman spins it is that he couldn't wait to leave.
Yeah.
So I whatever story is true, but like Nicole Kidman's.
Well, I mean, that's what
kill her dad.
That's what's great about the story is that they could both be right. Amrit could see the perfect vision of his father, while he is also really terrible to his mother. Those can both exist. And that's what's so cool about stories like this, where we can get blindsided by Nicole Kidman saying he's not the perfect person you thought he was. Like, isn't that like all of growing up, like realizing like people aren't always who they think they are? Like, I thought that was really, really well done. And like,
he kills both of them on accident.
How do you kill two people accidentally? That's crazy, guy.
that actually that hurt. And of course, man, that guy's got some willpower for getting stabbed that many times by his half younger brother.
Ooh, yeah, right in the shoulder a bunch. Yeah.
That's a sword too. That's even worse. But Brandon, you're 100% right. It doesn't matter who you are. You die in battle, you go to Valhalla. You die of old age, you go downstairs.
Brian, what were you gonna say?
When Fjolnir, after the massacre of the family happens, and he just walks in, he sheathes his sword.
Yeah,
because he's like, this is too much. Meet me in hell, my guy. Fisticuffs, naked fisticuffs. And I'm like, oh man, because I was just expecting because I forgot there was a volcano fight. So I was just like, is he just gonna fight over the corpses of his family? And he's like, no, we're gonna settle this at the gates of hell. And I'm like, yeah, there's a final title card, the gates of hell with one L.
And they spelled it right.
What's the a lot of horse decapitation happening in this.
Yes. And just like we're watching Moon Knight, very different but similar. You take your pets and friends and shit with you when you die and stuff. Like that horse is gonna help you in the afterlife. I don't know.
Yeah, apparently according to the priestess, that horse killing the horse meant the horse's spirit was able to take the son's body to Valhalla.
Wasted a good horse, if you ask me.
Yeah,
true.
I think this movie's really good. I don't necessarily know if I have much more to add, though.
Yeah, I think
I don't. The only time where I get a little iffy is like the crazy, the mushroom scene. Well, not when I say mushroom scene, I don't mean like the mushroom scene where everyone's dying and killing themselves. I mean the scene in a few scenes at the very beginning of the movie where they're doing the crazy rites, like the basement stuff and and all that, just like sort of thing. But then when we get to actual, and also there are times where it was really hard to understand what some of these people were saying, be it just their accents or the way the words are pronounced, which I completely understand. It's a different dialect. These are Old Norse languages. They're very hard to understand. But other than that, the acting was amazing. Well, I don't have a lot of nitpicks other than, you know, the hell thing, but that's just besides the point. This was still a fantastic film, but I still don't know if I love it or not. And that's that bugs me.
Well, the thing is, like, it's one of those situations where, like, it's pretty simple. And again, I don't mean to say like that's negative, but like it's a pretty simple revenge story that visually does a lot of the work for me. The acting is really great, but it's mostly like the environments and like what's happening. The script itself, like, because it's like it's old dialogue, like at times sometimes I was like, can you repeat that?
I know what I do when I watch this film again, and I know I'm going to watch this film again. I'm definitely watching with the subtitles on.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Yeah, I look at the 3 movies he's made, The Witch, The Lighthouse, and The Northman, and I think, and again, this is not negative. I think this is my least favorite of the 3, but this is still a really good movie. Like, The Lighthouse is exceptional, and The Witch is exceptional.
Now, I haven't seen The Lighthouse, but I have seen The Witch. But I would definitely rather watch this over The Witch again.
That's because that's a spooky movie.
Well, besides the fact it's a spooky movie, but also this one definitely pertains to my interest because you know me, I'm a sucker for kick-ass sword fights, and there is some great sword fights.
There's a bit where he catches the spear and then turns around and throws it back. That's pretty good.
That's all like one shot too of him like climbing the thing. I'm like,
that was so badass when he catches the spear and just chucks it back. It was like, yeah, kill him.
Yeah, really great visuals, and a lot of it again is just like practical, just like, hey, to shoot on location, you know.
I mean, I know this is technically this is a historically accurate scene of events, like, because I thought it was like, oh, it's a period piece / historical fantasy, you know, because like the magic shit. But because I thought, oh, this is probably just based. This is like somewhat a truly original film, because a lot of people going into this weekend or last weekend when this movie came out, they were saying that if you don't see this movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and you complain about Hollywood not having original ideas, you're full of shit.
100%. I mean, this is based off of like the most famous story in all of like the Viking sagas. Like it is like their like not their Bible, but like it's like it is well known. Like,
but it's not on the same level of what has dominated blockbuster cinema.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah.
This is still this qualifies in that conversation.
Oh no, yeah, not yeah. It is original.
I'm the opposite of Ben. I've only seen The Lighthouse. I've not seen The Witch. So this is I think I probably would prefer The Lighthouse to this one.
Yeah, I just think like I don't think I have to see it again. I don't think the pacing is bad in this. I just think there are definitely moments of I think I have to see it again to really cement that like the pacing isn't perfect. But I don't really have any problems with it. But again, like it's a good solid revenge movie.
Very solid film. Yeah.
I'm gonna rate it right now. I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
8.5. Ben.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
9.5.
Damn.
I mean, once again, I know I keep saying I don't love it, but the more I think about it, the more I was like, but it's like to me, this movie was just so good. This was, I mean, I know I've said, oh man, I love this movie. I give it an 8. But for me, just like everything this movie's done, like costumes, the lighting, the acting, the directing, everything about this, like the fantastical elements, like you were saying, this is the most historically accurate Viking film ever made. And
real quick, I want to talk about the magic, because you said like, could this be real or not? Nothing happens in this movie. No magic happens in this movie. When she does the wind thing, the wind just happens to like, that's all coincidence. Like all the curse stuff, that's just people killing people. So like all that stuff is like, they could all believe in it, but like in this movie, it shows that like, it's not actually real. It's just what they believe. And I think that's also really cool.
But also keeps it a little ambiguous so that it could be.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. It takes some of the mysticism, but it doesn't like over extrapolate it. Like you were saying, like that part is like, it could be magic or it could just be a great coincidence when she does the wind. But my whole thing is the sword. The sword that cannot be drawn during the daytime. Because that
is one, yeah.
That is the biggest outlier. Like there could be magic. There could be some extra.
Here's a combination lock on it.
It's like 225.
So that sword that he wields is a real sword that is like in some museum somewhere. It is like the lost like Viking sword. It's basically their Excalibur, like for real. Yeah. And it's got like the runes like written on it. Forged in Fire, which is a blacksmithing show that I've started to watch. They recreated what one of those on the show. So it's like Viking swords are cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I would rate it an 8.5, just like Ryan.
Hell yeah, great movie.
Great.
Yeah. Really enjoyed this. Glad we got to see it.
Time for the book club.
Hopefully we should probably try and find time to do Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. I hope, but not when we got.
Well, next weekend we're going to a Madness Multiverse, baby.
I was gonna say Doctor Strange is happening.
Next week though is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So stay tuned for that.
Stay off Twitter, folks.
Please. Jesus, guys.
I saw your tweet, Brandon, and I am so sorry.
I got another spoiler. It was untagged. Tag your spoilers, people. Tag them. Be good. Oh, is that a suction cup? Like he can just hang from the ceiling?
Yep.
That's good.
That's
Da,
right.
da.
All right. So, of course, check out some of our other shows, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel. There's season 2 of Conversation is still coming along. I've had a couple things happen in my life that has derailed me, but it should be getting back up again. Check out some of our other shows on YouTube. Again, subscribe to this channel. You can check out all sorts of things, such as our Fake Nerds Watch series. Our Fake Nerds Watch series has just recorded new episodes for Star Trek Picard, and Moon Knight, both of which will be available this weekend. Both of which have new episodes out now. So check those out. There's all sorts of other things. You want to catch up to Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness? We got a WandaVision. Fake Nerds Watch. You can check that out if you want.
Is that Space Cat?
It is Space Cat.
We also have Basement Arcade Pause Menu, Animation Station, and Fake Nerd Book Club. Other shows that you can find on this channel. Masks. We still got masks. I don't know how long. I keep forgetting to take this thing out, but they're still available if you want them. Might find something else to do with that fabric. Patreon. We have a Patreon. You can subscribe to various tiers on our Patreon if you'd like to support us financially, as well as check out our TeePublic, both of which are linked below. A lot of cool shirts up on TeePublic. Or you can find all these websites on our website. Find all these links on our website at FakeNerdPodcast.com. Thank you to everyone who listens. Thank you to everyone who watches the rewind, and thank you to everyone who watched the live show tonight. We greatly appreciate all of you. Thank you to Jeremy Vellucci, who is your new roommate, Ryan.
Yes, he's in that room over there.
That room?
That room over there.
Wow. You can find him at Jeremy Vellucci Keyboards. He did all of our theme music that you've heard tonight, all the theme music for all of our shows. You can find his podcast, Suburban Proctologist, on iTunes, Facebook.com/Suburban Proctologist Official, or Instagram at SubProcPodcast. Thank you to Mike Patola, our good friend Mike Patola, who's working on a How to Train Your Dragon piece.
Ooh.
I want it.
Ooh.
We'll get you on soon, Mike. We gotta. It's been too long.
We're gonna fast track that one.
Yeah.
I feel like Rose of the Titanic, or the beginning of Titanic. It's been 84 years.
84 years.
You can find him on TikTok, where he is very funny. And so I just remembered the one where he hung himself. You can find him on TikTok and Instagram at Mike Matola. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, all at Fake Nerd Podcast, fakenerdguys@gmail.com. FakeNerdGuys@gmail.com. If you'd like to get in touch with us personally, I'm at BC McClure on Instagram and Twitter. I also write for Screen Rant, where I've written a bunch of pieces. You can check out, linked below. I write for Atomic Geekdom, where I do the Revisiting the Infinity Saga series, and I edit KaijuRamenMedia.com. Ben.
You can find me going far from the fjords and the ice-cold currents at BenMagnet27 on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok, and also writing for Old School Gamer Magazine at both the website and for the magazine itself, GoNintendo.com, and Fusion Gaming Magazine.
Nice.
Did you say your Twitch?
No, I did not. So you can also find me. Thank you for that. You can also find me streaming on Twitch every Tuesday and Saturday mornings at 2 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Twitch at twitch.tv/BenMagnet27. Yes, I know.
Should
I know. It's really shit, and that's the only time really I can stream. So I'm sorry for the time being.
Ryan.
Hey guys, so I'm currently jobless. So in the meantime, I'm going to try to be a full-time streamer, and it's not going to work, but I'm going to do my best because I know who I am. Here we go, guys. DJ Tony Snark and DJ Tony Snark 616 YouTubes. Just type in DJ Tony Snark. I'm everywhere on the internet. Here's the schedule that I got so far. Mondays are Mass Effect. Tuesdays are Elden Ring. Wednesdays are Stanley Parable. Thursdays is Batman the Telltale series. Friday is whatever I want because it's Freaky Friday. Saturday I'm playing fighting games, and Sunday I'm playing Skyrim. So if any of that sounds appealing to you, I'm gonna put it on my Twitter. You can check out any of those days. Come say hello. I'm not doing much anymore.
I liked how you call it Tarnished Tuesdays. BT
Yeah, I gotta take it for every day. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes you hop on my stream. I really appreciate that.
Sometimes 2 a.m. is real late.
I know. It's not the greatest, but yeah.
Is that my friend?
Alejandro Martinez.
Is that my coworker Alex at the end of the show? Hello.
Says Ryan looking like a cute man.
You want me to pull that up?
I think that might be my coworker. It's the end of the show, bud. Sorry.
It's the end of the show, and we love it.
Hey, that's
okay. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music and Podcasts, and Pandora. Rate and review wherever you get us. We greatly appreciate it. Like this video, subscribe to our channel. Until next time you see us, guys, stay fake nerds.